Hey everybody! Hailing frequencies open and all that good stuff. I am joined today on the watch along on the friggin' Trash Picture Theater. I am joined by my good friend Marty from Trash Picture Show. I am joined by this fella down here, Deacon. I am joined over corner by Trenchy, and a special guest today, guys. We got Mike Tharm. He's a stop motion guy. He actually did work. He worked underneath the guy who made our film today, 20 Million Miles to Earth. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, guys, 20 Million Miles to Earth. Have you seen it?
I have it on DVD. Really enjoyed this movie. Watched it a couple of times. Always think the elephant near the end of the movie is an arsehole. The Emir isn't doing anything. Just wants to fucking bop about. Have a look around the zoo, and the fucking elephant goes apeshit. Great movie. I think one of Harryhausen's best of his earliest catalogue. So that's my thoughts.
I watched it long ago. I can't remember when I last watched it. That's the thing. I remember watching it, just not exactly when. But the thing that always grabbed my attention was how the little creature moved in the beginning. It's like, oh, that's nice. Nice movement. I like it. It looks so spooky and creepy and out of place. I think that's why I like this.
Yeah, the model's pretty good for it. I really like the Ymir stop motion model. Very, very highly detailed. Gets a lot of good movement out of it. Just classic Harryhausen stuff. Trent, you have thoughts on this, man?
I've never seen it, but I like monsters. Clash of the Titans, the original, is one of my favorites, and I like Jason and the Argonauts. So this looks pretty good, Monsters, you got Ray Harryhausen. You can't go wrong. So I'm curious, and I think it'll be good.
Yeah, you've got the legend behind it. Yay!
Yeah, Mike, what's your thoughts on 20 Million Miles to Earth?
Well, this I didn't get to see up until about 2004. So this was one of the last Harryhausen films I actually had to wait to see. And I absolutely love it. Considering it's a black and white film, it feels very superbly together. I've asked Ray a few questions about this when I mentored under him, and I'll drop those in throughout as we talk about the movie on his responses for them. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourites of his black and white films, and it's just flawless. It's just absolutely flawless.
Yeah, so it's got good production values. Funny thing about this movie is, well, actually not really funny, but this takes place in Italy, and the whole reason this happens in Italy is because Ray Harryhausen always wanted to vacation in Italy, and he never had the extra cash to go and do it. So this was sort of like, an excuse to get over there. And he actually co-wrote this with a woman by the name of Charlotte Knight. So that's kind of cool. And of course, we all know Ray Harryhausen. Jason and the Argonauts, 1 million years BC. I mean, come on, we know the guy, absolute legend. This film is directed by Nathan H. Jurin, who also directed another monster movie favorite of mine, The Deadly Mantis.
Ooh.
I haven't seen that one. But...
That's definitely ringing a bell. It's kind of like, oh, yes.
Yeah, and that's a film in which a giant mantis, this thing's like 60 feet tall. It gets unfrozen, it goes and wreaks havoc, and they have to take it down. So that's kind of a cool movie. He also did the seventh voyage of Sinbad, and the brain from Planet Eros. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see, he was a genius.
Yeah, so that was Nathan right there. He's the director of this film, and film stars William Hopper. He was also in the Deadly Mantis. You might remember him if you've seen that. He was Robert Calder in that movie. He was also in another movie, Rebel Without a Cause. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's pretty famous. Yeah. And of course, this also stars Joan Taylor. She was in another fun movie, Earth versus the Flying Saucers. And she was also in Apache Woman, and she was in The Rifleman, guys. She was Millie Scott in The Rifleman. That's why she might look familiar if you
Really?
like it. Yeah.
Ooh. In that case,
So,
yeah.
This is so she's been in 2 Harryhausen flicks.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Oh.
Cool, huh? And you've got Frank Puglia as Dr. Leonardo, and he was in Escape from Hong Kong and The Mark of Zorro. Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen Mark of Zorro.
I haven't seen the original one. I know Batman's parents were shot coming out after fucking seeing the flick. So get gun fucking down, like, you know.
This is why you don't bring a gun to a sword fight.
So, a couple cool things about this movie. Ymir, the monster in today's movie, his roars are actually modified elephant roars. And oh boy, guys, I hope you like elephant roars because you hear a lot of elephant roars in this film. Very prominent in the film. And another cool thing about that puppet is its design was originally supposed to be a Cyclops, just like the one in Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. But Harryhausen decided to do more of like a lizard thing, and I don't know, that works. I think it works rather well. And let's see, what else we got here? Oh yeah, the name of the film, 20 Million Miles to Earth, of course, refers to the distance between the Earth and Venus, which they almost got that scientific fact correct. Just a little bit further than that, it's actually 23.6 million miles to Venus. Anybody was curious about that? I don't know why you would be, but fact.
See, I'm glad Ethel said it and not me.
But it
so
doesn't quite roll off the tongue, though, does it?
26
Okay, boys, I got an idea for a movie. Here's the title.
20.6 million miles to Mars, to Jupiter, to wherever, because my brain's gone foggy.
Venus.
Venus.
Shut the fuck up.
You can see how my brain's not working today. Oh.
Another cool thing about this film is Ray Harryhausen is actually in this movie. He has a very small role. He appears as the man feeding peanuts to an elephant. And the whole reason he got to do that in this film and be in his own movie is because the actor they'd cast to play the guy feeding the elephant the peanuts actually never showed up. He didn't bother showing up. He's like, yeah, nothing.
It's kind of like they're paying me peanuts to feed peanuts, so I'm not going to turn up.
Yeah. So because of that, we got a little Harryhausen cameo, which is nice. I dig it.
I dig it. It's awesome, and it makes me think of could this have been the inspiration for all of the Stan Lee cameos?
Oh, probably not, but still.
I know. But it's nice to fantasize. It's nice to fantasize and hypothesize. I can live with my delusions.
But yeah, it's cool. It features obviously because it's Harryhausen, features a lot of stop motion, and it's very good stop motion. the movements of the creature are smooth. The scale looks great. It's good. And of course, Mike over here, he's a stop motion guy. So he actually does stop motion films and stuff. He's working on a project right now. So that's kind of cool. Mike, you want to plug that at all, dude?
Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Sorry, you broke up there. Sorry.
Mike, self-promote yourself. Plug yourself in.
Am I working? Hello?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Am I actually working? Is my mic working? Right, there we go. Right, I don't know what the hell happened there. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, yes, Wildlife and Mars. Yeah, so it was a project that Ray himself wants to see, and it took me a lot longer for his 100th birthday in 2020, and I'll look like that year so out of the window for him. It is on the card somewhere. It's just a question of finessing a few bits and reworking a lot of details to get the film finished.
And
I saw the trailer for it. It looks very good. So I'm anxious to see this. That'd be cool.
Filthy Frank says, hello, goodbye. He hopes we have a good one.
Mike, I know because you're an ambassador to the Harryhausen Foundation, you can't directly take kind of funding and stuff like that, but you do have what's that thing you can tip you or coffee kind of thing? Oh Christ, I keep on forgetting the name of it.
Patreon?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's been. Mike, you there? Oh, gremlins.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah.
Mike. Ah, there he is.
Can you hear us, dude?
Oh, goodness.
We're on here. Why is my internet playing up like there's no tomorrow?
Oh, man. Goodness.
Oh, come on. See, this is
Don't
what
worry
happens
about
when
it,
you're
dude.
trying to do a Skype call from a random location.
Dude, it happens to all of us. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would not be surprised the amount of times that one of us had been booted out of this thing because our internet hasn't felt. Okay, so do not worry. It's all part and parcel.
Yeah.
And I have yet to see a stream go completely without a hitch.
For sure.
What makes live fun, guys? And it's fun.
We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We got 1 minute to airing. We just do it on the fly.
But
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, my DVD copy decided to start playing. I'm like, motherfucker. Mike doesn't have to feel too bad. Hey, bitch, go away with that fucking torch. You're one. The Columbia chick is trying to burn her hair again.
Oh.
yeah, but sorry.
Sure, if needs be, Mike can maybe bring it up during the movie what he's up to and where people can throw him an little bit of bob, because I know he has a couple of I think it's oh Christ, it's a term for coffee, a website where you can give small amounts for people and stuff.
Latte.
No.
No, it's Kofi, right? It's Kofe.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll let him do it, but no, just kind of the guy.
Oh,
does some
buy me a
awesome-
coffee. Buy me a
Ah,
coffee.
Yeah.
buy me a copy. Oh, we have an art in the chat giving us a thumbs up and a cool time.
Yeah.
How,
buy me
Hey,
a-
Art.
Mike, how are you now? Can you hear us?
Oh,
No, still kind of shanky. Sure,
the satellite.
we can maybe if you want to start that, and Mike can chime in later. What you reckon?
Yeah, I figure we'll probably get this show on the road. I pretty much said my bit about the film. Good movie, and I look forward to watching it with everybody tonight. Does everybody have their copy of the film?
Yeah.
Yep, ready, loaded. All I gotta do is press play.
Mike, have you your copy set up, dude? The internet sucks.
Yeah.
Hey,
I-
Mike, if you're having troubles with your mic, maybe try typing in the private chat so we can see what you're saying.
Ooh,
If you
he's
can.
gone. He's
Oh,
gone.
Jump.
no.
Maybe
Down.
he. Oh, if you're able to hear us, type in the private chat if you're going to enter the studio so we can see what's going on. And maybe restart your router and your device because that might help out your camera and internet. It sometimes works. Sometimes. It's just something I have to do every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
But
he's
unfortunately, these days, you know.
I know, because he seemed like a decent guy. And he seemed like... Yeah.
He's Mike's the fucking salt of the earth and one of the nicest lads there is.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that, yeah, he'll have a lot of things to contribute to tonight. So if he comes back, I'm really looking forward to it. If not, I hope he enjoys.
Yeah, I'll give it a couple minutes just see if he hops back in before we start. That way, you know, I'm not stopping to convey time codes all the time, which I probably still will. Probably still give a time code every now and again. That'll help me out when I'm editing.
Yeah.
Right, Ethel, to kill some time, favorite stop motion creature from even a Willis O'Brien movie. Any kind of doesn't have to be Harryhausen, can be even older stuff.
Oh, I like the Medusa. The stop motion Medusa.
Yeah, I love Cerberus in that movie as well, and oh Christ, Talos from Jason the Argonauts, the big bronze statue that they have to crack open the back of his heel. Deacon, favorite stop motion creature from any? It can even be a movie from the 80s. It could even be like the Pit or the is it the Pit? Which one is Stephen Dwarf and like little gremlins come out of a hole in the ground?
The Gate.
The Gate. Yeah.
The Gate's the shit. I saw The Gate recently, and I love that movie now. That movie's dope.
If it's stop motion, then I have my two favorites. One is from a Hausen movie, which is the Harpies from Jason and the Argonauts. I love those things. They're so well sculpted, and they do look like they're flying. It's the best bit of stop motion I've seen for in air. So you got to give kudos to that. You have to.
If I had to give a modern one, I think the stop motion, Phil Tippett stop motion on Kane in RoboCop 2. That I love that.
That was great, and the Ed 209 stop motion was pretty good too.
Yeah, what about you?
I either gotta go King Kong, the original, or I gotta go the big red guy from from Clash of the Titans. He fights Perseus, the beast guy.
Calabas.
Yeah. He think he has like a
Calabas,
whip or
Calabas the
something?
Giant.
Yeah. He's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
He always stands out from Clash of the Titans for some reason. I know everybody says Medusa and stuff, or the Kraken, but I don't know. I always think of him first for some. He left an impact for me.
The lighting on that Medusa stop motion is pretty good because they've got the flickering torchlight, and like that's really hard to achieve.
To Kali dancing in, is it the Golden Voyage of Sinbad? That was
I
fucking
believe that was really cool too. Also, I know most people don't like it, but in the Howard the Duck movie, the sort of Overlord monster, pretty cool too.
cool. Yeah, I like when 80s kind of sci-fi and horror used stop motion again, because like that was cool. Like
Didn't
even the Rancor in Return of the Jedi when they used the stop motion first kicked arse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you like your more out there movies, I can recommend one of my favourite creepy stop motion characters ever, which is the White Rabbit from the Russian/German version of the stop motion Alice.
That was some creepy shit.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite creepy characters of all time. If everyone doesn't know, he's a taxidermied rabbit who wears an outfit.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, he's my favourite character. I love him from that. And it's kind of like, yeah, if I was in a world of stop motion taxidermied creatures, I'd like to be that rabbit, just be creepy.
When the chick's dancing Evil Dead 2, isn't that stop motion?
Yeah,
the Win Dead Eyes. The Win Dead Eyes. Also, and Ash's girlfriend. Oh, sorry, Ethel.
Yeah, Ash's girlfriend. That's why I meant her dance.
Yeah. Trenchy just reminded me, there's some really awesome stop motion in the first Evil Dead film where at the end of the movie where the Deadite is rotting and turns into a skeleton and then turns into muck. Like that's also really good stop motion time.
Hey June.
Yeah, the Evil Dead franchise is filled with some nice stop motion. I mean, the third one even has some in there. It's not the best in the world, but it is still good.
Oh yeah, with the skeletons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how
like
they gave all the skeletons that Ray Harryhausen brow that he gave the skeletons. Like that's
kind of make them look evil.
Yeah, that was homage to Jason and the Argonauts, right? Because I felt like it was, but
yeah, the Skeletal Warriors.
Sam Raimi actually said that's why they did that in the commentary for Army of Darkness. Which you folks out there, you should be watch your commentaries, guys. That's why they put those tracks there. You know, gotta do it.
We got some cool people in the chat. I noticed as well. We got Filthy Dan, we got Natalie. We got Arthur, as always, Junebug, and Revy Reviews.
Ooh, a nice reputable selection. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Great bunch of people.
No, after you, I just burped, so sorry.
Oh, thanks, Revy. Got Natalie there. Yep. So yeah, it's nice that that stop motion endured for so long, and it wasn't just immediately abandoned as soon as animatronics became big in Hollywood.
Well, if you get a chance, guys, go online and look for Phil Tippett's. I'm going to be bringing it up next month. But Phil Tippett's stop motion effects for the first Jurassic Park. Originally, Jurassic Park, before CG was brought into it, it was going to be all Phil Tippett dinosaurs, and it looked fucking incredible. But again, CG took over, and there's a line in Jurassic Park where it was taken from something Phil Tippett said. He's like, "Oh, we're out of a job," and Phil Tippett turned to one of his kind of co-workers and said, "Don't you mean extinct?" And that was put into Jurassic Park. So yeah, I'll go over that next year. But if you get a chance, check out Phil Tippett's stop motion animation for the T-Rex and the Raptors in the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, luckily for us. Ooh, sorry. After your 20.
Oh, my bad. I cut you off. No, you go ahead.
No. After you haven't said much so far. So after you.
I was just gonna ask. Doesn't like the claymation movies like Coraline and like Paranorman and Cubo and the Last Strings? Don't they use stop motion? Like,
Yeah.
mix them with animation. Like, so
Yeah,
it's still alive.
Yeah, you pretty much beat me to it, Trenty. That's what I was going to say. Luckily for us, stop motion hasn't died out. There are still movies being made that are, some of them are really popular. Some of them fly under the radar, but it's still a viable art form that brings entertainment.
Also in the UK, there was a studio opened by Nick Park that's kind of an institution by the name of Ardham Studios. They done the character is up there with Santa Claus for a majority of like fucking Gen X and people our age thinking Wallace and Gromit. They were
gotta go to the moon and go in a tease store.
I was surprised that they made them over to Edo, but I suppose that if they're popular, they're popular. Like I only thought that Nick Park and Ardham got popular because of Chicken Run, which is a remake of The Great Escape with chickens.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I grew up with that movie. That's a classic for me.
There's after Apple. Sorry.
I was going to say, Wallace and Gromit. It came over here. It blew up big. There was a period of like 2 or 3 months where like you couldn't turn on the TV and not hear about that movie.
Yeah, DreamWorks made a movie. They made the Were-Rabbit, which they also made Chicken Run. DreamWorks as well. So I guess maybe the same guy.
Just be careful, because there might be another chicken movie coming out that's based on stop motion, and it's not The Great Escape. It is the story of it's basically the chicken version of a woman escaping Auschwitz. Yeah.
What?
Oh, look at Sophie's Choice.
Yeah,
Sophie's Choice for chickens. Oh, Jesus. Have you guys seen, I think it's called Early Man. It was the last Ardham animation. But it's really funny. It's about a football team made of cavemen who challenge a group of kind of Persian Egyptians to a football match. And like there's a brilliant bit where it finds that it turns out the manager was cheating, and he's taken off. He's attacked by a giant duck and taken away to be eaten. And the two guys in the commentary, well, looks like he was finally caught by the old Bill. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Such a waterfowl joke.
There was also some good stop motion in the Jack the Giant Slayer movie, if you guys recall that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That Cyclops.
Yeah, watch that one. I also watched the makeup design competition for people to actually come up with a prosthetic design for one of the giants. Very, very impressive work. Shame they basically kicked it all out and said CGI. Ooh, this one's okay. Claymation.
No. This is before CGI.
This is the old one, Deacon. It's not the one with Ewan McGregor. It's the old one.
I'm thinking of the remake.
That they got to do everything, guys. They got to remake everything. No, I was talking about the original one.
Oh, that one, yeah. That one I agree with. I haven't done much research on that one, though. Watched it once, but not much research. So,
that guy always cracks me when he's yelling at the Cyclops. Cormoran! Love that. But yeah, no, that's some good stop motion there. Kind of a cheesy film, but still dig it.
If you want some stop motion which is creepy but also entertaining but also still creepy, The Island of Lost Dogs.
Yeah, I heard of that one. That's
Yeah.
like a Chinese movie, right? Or Japanese?
It's a Paul Anderson, or no, Wes Anderson. Is it Wes Anderson? It's a Wes Anderson stop motion, in the vein of his other adaptation of the Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it's set a rubbish island off the coast of Japan that's inhabited by dogs, and a young boy goes to get his dog back to the island.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I'd recommend watching it, but what I will say is make sure you have a hanky ready. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it made me have a little tear.
Yeah, the movie looks like a little offbeat, a little sad and shit. So.
Yeah, but it's very compelling. I do recommend watching it and bearing with it.
It's okay, Deacon. If Trenchy cries, I'll give him a hug.
If he cries, we'll know. If Trenchy cries, we'll know because the ocean level will go up by 3 feet.
No.
I did watch Plague Dogs, so I don't.
Oh, Plague Dogs! Oh my God!
Christ Almighty! Don't promote Plague Dogs.
Plague Dogs hurt, man. It hurts. I mean, everybody says Watership Down, but I think Plague Dogs is like more depressing.
Well, Watership Down has at least some semblance of an optimistic ending, although there is an ambiguous ending to where there's a theory that they actually make it to an island.
Yeah, but unfortunately, due to the distance, their condition, children will think, yes, they get to the island. When you grow up, no, there's no way.
Oh.
Yeah, once you know the biology of how far they're swimming, nope.
Deacon, don't ruin everything for everyone, okay, man?
It's my job. It's what I'm good at.
No, it's not. Don't worry, kids. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a purple elf with a fucking trap to the computer.
Okay, they make it to the island. They live happily ever after, and they build Dog Utopia, which is where all good dogs go to heaven comes from.
Yeah, all dogs go to heaven.
They're the descendants of the smart dogs.
I remember when that came out, and like there were Christian groups, and they were so mad about that film. They're like, "No, dogs don't go to heaven." Blah blah blah. It's like what? It's like
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and they cited junk science from the early 1920s to back it up, going, "Oh, but according to this research, dogs don't have souls." But I don't care. According to the same research, humans don't have souls.
If someone asked me if my old Jack Russell or Jeffrey Dahmer went to the afterlife, I'm putting my fucking money in my Jack Russell. Because if there's any fucking justice in the world, my old dog would get there, and Jeffrey Dahmer would be fucking somewhere getting his bollocks gnawed off I don't know, Severus or some fucking thing, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they would definitely go to different places.
Wouldn't be gas if actually serial killers were sent to dog heaven and dogs were allowed to eat them. Just they could eat as many fucking rapists, serial killers as they like.
I think that would be too cruel on the dogs.
I know.
But
here,
I do like the
by you. Sorry, Ethel, sorry.
I do like the theory. I do like the theory though that dog heaven is squirrel hell. Because we keep on saying, oh, they're in heaven chasing squirrels. So does that mean very naughty squirrels go to doggy heaven because it's their hell and it's synergy? It just makes it a lot easier and there's less space to take up.
I don't know. That's something to chew on, Deacon, I guess.
Theoretical conundrums.
We've gotten way off the rails, guys. I don't know if Mike's coming back. Sorry about that. I activated my device. Yes, I don't know if Mike's coming back, but yeah, I don't know.
Sure. If he comes back partway through, we can give him the time code and stuff.
Yeah, because we've been going for after Apple.
With 35 minutes. We've been going for 35 minutes, so I'll probably going to start the movie. Oh, gone.
No, I'm still here.
They're hiding their faces. He doesn't want us to see his happy, joyous face as he's watching the movie, squealing like a schoolboy.
No, I'm eating lots of shit here, and I'm embarrassed. Okay.
I know, and I'm trying to make it sound like you're not trying to hide yourself that you're eating. Trying to make it sound like you're cool and manly.
Oh,
right.
Fuck it. Oh, bring me Trenchy. Chintry Jabba Wookie Nipple Pinch.
Except he wouldn't be in a gold bikini, he'd be in a gold posing pouch.
No posing pouch big enough for Trenchy Monster. Sorry. Anyway, Ethel.
All right, so I'm gonna, if everybody's ready, Deacon, you ready?
Yep. Just let me get to the right page. Yep. Just all you got to do is say play, and I'll press.
All right, Trenchy, you ready?
Yeah. I actually found the movie on your website. I actually found a way to access the website this time, so that's good.
Oh, on the archive.org.com, whatever.
Yeah, because I didn't want to use Tubi because Tubi would have commercials every 5 minutes and it would fuck up the flow. So I manually typed in the thing into Google and I found the site.
Oh, sweet. I noticed that they're very friendly with that site versus Tubi. It brings you right to the video. Yeah, that's great. Any movie on there from now on, Trench, you'll be able to do that, dude. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, all I gotta do is I'll just have to know ahead of time so I can type it into the website and shit in Google, just the name of the movie and stuff, and I can get it.
Yeah.
Oh, grand. All right, so Marty, you ready, buddy?
Yeah, got it set up on me the old sex box.
The old sex box?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do the countdown, guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Colombia.
Or even dimly aware. Breathtakingly unexpected, for example, was the searing flash that announced the atomic age. Equally unexpected was the next gigantic stride, when man reached out of his very orbit to a point more than 20 million miles.
Million miles, guys.
Starring William Hopper, John Taylor, Frank
Ethel, do you
Kugler,
think they
John
had like a
Seager, Thomas
speedometer,
Bean.
like a Buick in the rocket, that they could clarify?
They had to. They were counting the miles. Maybe they took a shortcut.
Honey, we can 7 million miles if we cut across that meteor belt, but it's one in 317,000 to 1.
You want me to sell this you want me to resell the rocket and the fucking mileage on this thing? Fuck off.
Look, baby, this thing couldn't even get you back to the moon and back at this point.
Oh, that's a fancy name for that village. A
fishing village. Welcome to A Fishing.
Does this movie take place in Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Come on, pull up on the net.
It transpires that Trenchy has some deep-seated hatred or xenophobia for Italians. Does this movie take place in Italy? Fucking
I think
Italian.
Italians are cool. You know, I mean,
Italian
it doesn't
accent
help that they're
for
usually
guys.
represented as mobsters, but you know, they're cool. We know
No,
they're people.
not everyone from Italy is a mobster. Only most
Yeah, I
of them.
know. Just most of them. Poor Italians.
Yeah, essentially, you're from New York, so you fuckers eat pizza by the cartload, so you surely love Italians, right?
Oh yeah, dude, I love spaghetti. So yeah, Italians are the best. You know, gotta give respect.
Oh,
Lads, instead of blessing yourselves, you see who's in the fucking rocket. Come on, the fuck.
I know it does look like a bottled rocket. It looks like the type that you would fire using water or gas.
do you see that one guy's shoulders? You know he doesn't need a sweater in the winter.
No. Christ, he's a hairy bastard.
See, from this angle, that ship looks like a lawn dart.
Okay, I still find it cool how they can make like a little model rocket look bigger than all these people and shit. Then without using like CGI. Like I like that like illusion of size. They're just
Yeah,
more
they've got-
magic.
Convincing, but you know, you do what you can. You do what you can.
Yeah. It's not easy doing. After you, Ethel.
I was just saying, to get a rocket that nice, usually you got to pop a quarter in one of those egg machines.
But yeah, it seems to be
you get
the.
like a bouncy ball or a nice piece of jewelry, like, fuck, I want that rocket.
Sometimes you get that sticky hand.
Hey, Ethel, would it be the gumball shaped one or the fake parrot that shackles out that you usually got yours out of?
Gumball. Usually they were either shaped like a gumball machine or like they were square and like that big and like, I don't know. They do that thing where they put all the cool prizes at the top of the machine and all the really crappy ones at the bottom.
At the
So
bottom.
like you'll see what you want and you put your coin in and you always get a crappy one. Always.
There used to be one up at a shop by me as a kid that had a mechanical parrot that would crap them out.
Yeah, you get the toy home, you'd play with it for about 2 minutes, it'd break. Sometimes it'd break like on your walk home or you're riding the car home. Like, oh man.
Yeah, or it just gets randomly lost somewhere and it's kind of like, I don't remember where I put it. And then you find it 6 years later stuck in the car seat.
I'm already loving this fucking movie, man. This movie's fucking dope.
Oh, it's great. Like the stuff with the interior of the rocket is great. Like they spend a lot of money on this set, I could tell.
It's badass. Like it's very intricate.
Yeah, they got the steam going. Like they didn't just film this in a basement. Well, okay, maybe they did, but it looks good. It looks good.
Also, Natalie, when you say that, I hope you mean that in the sense of my icon, and not like in the Chris Hansen kind of way.
Just have a seat.
Yeah,
Why don't you have a seat? Have a seat. You have
Martin.
a girlfriend. Wow.
It can't be any worse than what Trenchy was saying about me while I was gone.
Yeah, no. The thing is, Marty's the type that skins people in the jungle. He doesn't do the other thing.
That's not making it any better.
Really? I thought he was the type that hunted down potatoes, skinned them, and ate them.
Hey, Deacon, how many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman?
None, because you can't overdose on potatoes because you're an Irishman.
No, because we fucking starved to death because of you fucker.
You know, if we were watching this in the same room, we could throw scones at Deacon when he gets off the rails. That'd be handy.
Yeah. No, that would work. Throw the scones at me. Don't forget the jam.
Oh, I thought Apple said stones at first. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this the Middle Ages?
But depending on how old they are, sometimes they can be like a rock.
Oh yes, have you ever heard of a rock scone? They are lovely, but unless you really butter them and dip them in cream, oh my god, it will do your jaw in.
You gotta dip them in your coffee or your tea. Probably your tea. That's the traditional thing. Like a biscotti with Italians. So it all comes back to the film.
Hey,
I dare
Trench.
Oh.
Trench, what archaeological thing can you find in a bakery?
What?
Stonehenge. Sorry, Ethel.
That's grand. I dare
What?
say that some of these guys are not actually Italian.
Oh shit. Shit just got real. No, why are you leaving him to die, you fucking morons? What if he couldn't swim?
He'd be a pretty shit fisherman now if he couldn't swim in fairness.
But
Me?
but the ship's sinking. Like, that's not safe to like leave him in the water near that ship.
Maybe they think he's Welsh because I hear most of them grow flippers.
I like how they make the tiny weak kid do all the rowing. Like, what the hell?
Row your boat.
He's the only one who's concerned. He's like, there's more than two men in there. Nope, that's all we're going to say.
Yeah, what happened to the men they saved? They just left them in there to die? What just happened?
You know, you could tell that these aren't real Italians because if they were, they simply would have put on their tanuki suit and they would have flown those men to safety.
All indications flashed in somewhere right here. 30,000 leagues into the sea. Perhaps may never gain control. I appreciate your optimism back there, but
Bunch of Italians went into a rocket bin and they tried saving lads, but they couldn't. Because they're Italians.
So they just left them there to die.
This Friday should have bought the frog from Toad, but no, they didn't.
sorry, Dr. Beckman, sir.
And then the little, I thought they were going to let the other Italian guy get on the boat, but no, they started sailing away from out without him. So he had to swim away from the like spaceship as it was drowning in the water. These people are horrible fucking people, man. Fuck these people.
Like I said, he's the only redeemable one on that boat. And then do all the rowing.
Yeah, he tried to stay behind to save everyone, and they're like, fuck it, we're going to leave you. And he's like, God damn it.
Oh, they saved one guy. Actually, no, they saved two.
Major, lead the cooperation.
Oh, shit, where were they in the boat, though?
Tell them we've got a green light from the White House and tell them we get the Italian embassy to clear the path for us. Better tell them we're in a hurry and to roll up the red tape and put it away in a drawer until this thing is. Yes, sir. After that, call transport.
My copy is crashed.
We're going. What now?
My copy crashed.
Oh.
We're at 11 minutes and 36 seconds now.
Cerchiamo di comunicare da qui. Oh, non deve. Viene dato subito. Sì, signor commissario. Subito.
11:41.
now.
11:57.
Oh, I was inside with the Mandello. We saw one more man, but it was a certainty he was dead. But Signore Commissario, the ship of the air, she was so big, so vast.
There we go. On the beach, all looking out, little boy. Goes up in jets.
Yep, that's where you're at.
For some reason, mine keeps on stopping the buffer, but hey, I'll do with it.
The doctor is not at all. He's far over his
England is awesome.
and Signor Martinelli is a very sick man. Ah, that's too bad.
I found a goat, and I found a missile.
That's the old doctor from Rome.
Did this movie star real Italians?
The old man with the house on the wheel.
I don't think they're real
I think so.
Italians.
Yeah, maybe some of the extras, but not the main cast.
Okay, that makes sense. That explains a lot, actually.
He's holding a larvae.
Yes.
Dr. Leonardo?
Sì, proprio.
He is captain of Via Messina, only a small kilometer from the residence of Signor Graffi.
Good. You know where the place is? No. Get the doctor here at once. Sì, immediatamente. Pepe.
Fucking Peppy.
Yeah, what is it with like annoying kids in shit? It's just like, come on, like the kids got like Black Scorpion, little kid causes trouble. Fucking the kid that pissed on young Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that little brat. He's a little shit. He should have died. I don't care what Art says.
Most of the kids in kind of like the monster movies that we know tend to be annoying. Unfortunately, it seems to be their one trait.
Yeah, man. Like, usually I like kids, but not too much in monster movies, apparently.
Well, except for the kid in Drink Blood, he was the hero of the film.
Nah, he kicked ass.
Yeah.
Wait, what movie?
I Drink Your Blood.
Oh, yeah, he was a badass.
See, the Torre Borini, the only one we have is Signor Martinelli, who's about to have twins, triple, perhaps small.
Belly turns on the beach.
My granddaughter is possible, Marisa.
3 minutes traveling straight to country exit.
Oh, we see a turtle, we see a parrot, we see what appears to be blood in a thing. Okay. Is he into animal sacrifice?
Still need the thing.
Okay, movie.
Good afternoon, my young Mexican friend.
What's wrong, Trench?
Today,
I don't know. They're really hamming these fake Italian accents, man. Like, the big guy was cool, but that guy with the mustache and the hat that looks like Luigi is a little much. It's just like I can't understand what he's saying.
Come on in, my Sicilian band in the wood bargain, huh?
Wait, Trench, where are you, dude, in the movie?
He's in the RV with the old man, and the old man has back.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were still on the beach. That you brought up that guy. Sorry.
Oh no, I was referring. That wasn't me.
That was me sneezing.
He turned into a fucking VTech type and talk. Seriously, man, you like that VTech type and talk.
Every once in a while, I just make really weird noises, and I wish I didn't. But as long as it entertain others, fine.
Oh, shit's gone down! It's wiggling around.
Oh shit.
It's beginning to gestate.
Just sold
Someone
his.
ate it for the hoolie. Someone just ate the fucking milk. It's like, savage.
Well, Trenchy, the best way to think of it is an oversized larvae.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Bird.
See, Doctor?
Please tell me, where did you find that thing?
In the water, Doctor! In the sea!
He's just like he's stuck with it now. Oh, we got a guest in the back. Let me pop them in here real quick.
Who here?
Oh, it's Mike. Oh, let me get in here.
Give Mike the time code, guys, for the movie if he needs it.
Hold on, I'm having trouble. What the hell?
I'm gonna wait till he comes in, though.
Okay.
There.
Should we all pause?
Am I working? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Oh,
down
yeah.
there.
Oh, Christ for that! Jesus.
From me.
Well, welcome back, man.
Oh, crying out loud! This is why I don't do computers. We should all just stick to tin cans and string. It'd be so much easier.
Oh yeah.
I prefer carrier pigeons. Because at least with carrier pigeons in times of strife, at least you get a portable meal.
True.
Mike, do you need a timestamp for the movie?
I will do. I'm just loading it up on my mobile because I think that might have been part of the problem as well, was trying to stream the film and stream this live at the same time. So I think that might have been just taking up too much of the studio broadband.
This condition is critical. Sorry, but
How are we enjoying the movie
On his face.
so far, anyway?
We're enjoying it so far. There's been some really good bits. There have been bits where we just can't help but crack jokes. And there's been one or two times where we've gone a little sidetracked, but Ethel's brought us back on track very quickly. So, yeah, you haven't missed much, but it's been fun.
Yeah, right. We're at 1946.
Dr. Sharma, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Doctor, can you save me?
Make it back.
We are back.
Look, you're suffering from exhaustion. Please get back
Quiet.
The animal specialist.
The doctor has something growing on his
Yes,
face.
quiet you.
The others are dead.
It's pasta primavera. I don't know how that helps him, but
Yeah, some bastard Italian decided to fucking put linguine over the fucker's face while he was out just for the fucking movie.
Yeah, and they mixed in a little bit, just a tiny bit of baking soda so it would solidify on his skin so it looked like scabs.
Oh my god! Hold on a minute now. Hold the fucking phone. So that dude's just fucking conked it, right? And this other dude's climbed into his bed next to a fucking corpse. Look, I'm sorry. If God forbid, if a family member of mine fucking died in the bed next to me, I would not be okay with sleeping in the bed next to my fucking deceased friend, family member, any fucker. If someone fucking carries off this mortal realm, I'm not going to be in the bed beside him. Sorry.
Wait, he's dead?
What if they were taken away from the bed and it was just you?
Yeah, I'd be grand. I'd just, like, would you be able to fucking relax while there's a dead body in a bed next to you?
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
No.
Until it started decomposing.
or until its bowels released.
I think if I had no other choice, such as war situation, then I'd have to. But I preferably not to.
The amount of character he gives the emir in the scene.
Why is
Jones,
everybody in this movie an asshole?
I know, it's so cute.
Is it hatching
I
from
love
the
it.
egg?
Yeah, it's not, well. See, the thing is, I might be a bit ahead. It's fucking bombing around on the table for me, Mike, and the
Right.
alpha's talking about it.
Okay.
For me,
So-
it's just getting out of the egg.
on my end. We're at
So-
22:30 for the
Right.
timestamp.
Okay.
there.
Right. I'll have to just listen into it then, because my mobile is playing all sorts of hell for me trying to play this thing. So I know it pretty much off the top of my head, but yeah, it's I'll have to listen into it. But I asked Ray about that egg, because if you think about it, that's a stop motion sequence. That's a jelly egg. Have you any idea how difficult it is to animate a jelly egg? And you know what his response was? I can't remember how I did it.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I know. I was like, oh, come on, Ray, just try and remember. It's like, no, I really can't remember. It's like, I mean, I'm guessing what they've done is they've taken like a gelatin casting of the egg, and then he's gone into the actual through the egg to animate it breaking away, and then literally taking all the pieces out bit by bit. That's the only way I can think about it, because you can't animate from underneath a table to do something like that, and it's certainly not a rod puppet. So that's the only way I can think he's done it.
I can imagine, Mike, that like as time consuming as standard fucking stop motion takes, that must have been a fucking bastard to animate.
Oh,
back
it
in the
probably
day.
would have been. Time would have been really against him, because not only have you got like hot set lights, because don't forget, this is back in the day when those bulbs could give you a bloody sunburn just from being in the same room for a good number of hours. And then you've got whatever that material is, which I'm guessing is gelatin of some kind. That's going to have a shelf life on it, which is going to be exacerbated with the heat from the lamps. So he had a very, very narrow window to work with there. And it's not even like he could have reverse shot it like he has done a few things before now. So it's like that. What you're seeing there is pretty much like top quality stop motion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you consider what gelatin was comprised of back then, its shelf life under hot lamps was only 3 hours.
Yeah.
I
You
like
felt
the
bad.
monster mustache.
Such an adorable creature.
I know,
Yeah,
it's what I would love to have that as a pet.
The thing is, I felt sorry for the emir throughout the movie, because it's like it's not even carnivorous. I think
No.
there's a scene where it goes into a barn to eat grain, and the farmer's dog attacks. That's initially while it goes. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, eating sulfur in that scene, and
Yeah.
that's a nod
Sorry.
Yeah.
to the atmosphere on Venus.
I'm sorry. Sir, our strange friend. How much has grown in what, 2 hours?
Unbelievable!
Everybody's
Where's our strange friend gone now?
strange. The Giardino zoological rock.
Pardon. Oh, we have a Monsters in the chat saying he's back. He's the man behind the mask.
Hey, Mark.
Hey,
Close
Mark.
it.
Now, I do have to ask myself, if I was a paleontologist or a biologist or any kind of ologist that dealt with animals, if you saw this creature and it grew in the space of a few hours to that size, would you not automatically think it's a fucking alien?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't keep this thing in a cage or a Doberman or.
Like here is cute, sure, but he's impossible to keep in pants and shoes. It's just down the drain.
Yeah, I know. No, it sounds bad, but I would have to go out and get an Olympic-sized swimming pool, drain it, and just put it in there and hope for the best.
Yeah, but you don't want to let it go because you don't know what it's capable of. So, like,
Yeah,
but
that's why I trap it in the pool, so that way it can't run around, but it's got space to grow.
Like, what if the thing eats a child, and then you gotta
No. Trench. He's draining the swimming pool. There's going to be no children in the swimming pool.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wait, did you actually think
the swimming pool will be vacated.
You thought he was going to lamp the bastard in a pool with children and adults and other humans?
I don't know.
See, now I would like to see a movie where it's a carnivorous version of this creature and someone releases it into a swimming pool with children and parents.
Wait for the next Sharknado movie. I'm sure they'll do that.
Ebeernado.
Oh, Sharknado Pool Peril.
Like, the thing is, a lot of these, like I was chatting to people before, and a lot of these B50, these 50s B movies, right? They had some class effects, but they used them sparingly. So you ended up getting these scenes, talking head scenes of generals and scientists and dudes with pipes in a room. Well, yeah, it came from Venus, and we needed to blow it out of the sky. And Jack McCourt here is the man for the job. There's also a woman, but we're just including her because she can make us coffee. That kind of shit, you know. It's just all talking head scenes.
Yeah.
These B movies. It's just.
I mean, it's not just that as well, but if you think about most sci-fi films of that genre in that time as well, the majority of them were just men in suits or, you know, an obvious shape to hide a human proportion. When you get people like, you know, O'Brien and Ray, where they would literally just kind of like create these things where it would be impossible to put a person into these suits, but yet it just fools the audience completely in you know, how was this done? I mean, you look at the Ymir in proportion as well. It's like you've got the human torso, but then outside of that, you know, those, I forget what you call those type of legs that they got now, where it's like double hinged.
Double hinged reverse.
Yeah. So chicken legs. There you go. Chicken legs, that'll do. It just adds so much more to it because don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with a good like humanoid alien. I mean, this island Earth has probably one of my most favorite humanoid aliens ever. But sometimes you just don't want that humanoid look in every single 50s B movie, and that sort of creature that you get with the Ymir is just spot on.
On the return trip, spaceship was
I mean, not that you can't in the sensible slacks, but still looks great.
Yeah, even I have to admit, some of my favourite movies out there are ones that contain monsters that don't have a humanoid form.
Yeah.
The equipment. Several members of the expedition died there before the others realized the danger. And Dr. Sharman, chief scientist...
Of course they realise the danger. It's a creature that's growing exponentially at an exponential rate.
I'm actually bummed out, Ethel, that Black Scorpion is in public domain. I'd love to do a watch along of that, because that's one of my favorite crime movies.
Task is to discover in what physiological way life is
domain is rather cheesy in some respects. It's not stop motion, but Teenagers from Outer Space is public domain. That's got a giant lobster.
Okay.
Now, when you say giant lobster, do you mean a giant lobster they just pulled from the fishery, or a giant lobster in that they've actually done something to it to make it look like an alien monster?
It's more or less the silhouette of a giant monster for most of the movie, and it roars like an elephant too. It's the whole movie.
An elephant lobster. Oh my god, that would be a strange creature.
Oh god! Well, those suits don't leave much to the imagination.
Even that kid's getting his guns out, going, you know what? I need to make sure I'm protected.
Kid, don't get me started on that bloody kid.
We've already said he's an annoying twat.
Well, it's not just that, but it's like if you think about this whole movie, like all this started because some stupid little kid wanted a cowboy hat. All of this could have been prevented if he just like someone slapped him on the back of the head and said, "Shut up, get on with your job."
Fuck Pepe and fuck E2, those little shits.
Yeah, or just giving him the cowboy hat.
Country of Texas.
I don't care. I don't care. It's like, no.
No, I agree with Mike. This kid is not as bad as E2, but he's still a little shit.
Yeah, EQ is kind of like this is our bar for bratty, undeserving child that should have died.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that little
They're
shit.
giving the kid more money. You
And for nothing as well. Actually, I'll tell you something. Actually, I think there's a scene after this where the general's about to give him the cash, and as soon as the camera cuts, what he probably does is knees the little shit in the face, and then just beats him down and strangles him. He's like, "You just cost me how many millions of dollars?"
They should have filmed that. That's what we wanted to see.
It was supposed to go at the end of the credits, but they hadn't thought about that at the time.
Well, it's half a million lira and a horse. So, like, this kid has somehow finagled a horse on top of the reward out of this guy.
And where's he going to keep it? Is he going to keep it in the ocean?
I don't think he's got that far ahead. He wants to be a cowboy, guys. And what's more endearing than a kid, an Italian kid who wants to be in a spaghetti western?
I'll tell you what's more endearing. An alien creature running loose in Italy. That's more endearing.
I suppose if they just hooked me up with spaghetti, like none of this would happen.
See, this is where I wish there was a little bit of fantasy in this movie, so we could hope that the horse was a Kelpie.
Are we in the van and the truck now?
Yep, he's breaking out of his cage. Oh, I do like that. It looks good.
I'm not there yet. I'm about to be.
Hey, the army's turned up. They're like, hey, the fuck are you up to?
But it's very, very clearly daytime, even though they're pretending like it's nighttime. They got their lights on and everything.
Yeah.
But I am liking the controlled force perspective that we're getting, because the monster is looking like it is mixed in with the people.
This is, in my opinion, Ray's best example for black and white compositing. At this stage in the film, it's like, in his career, I should say, he had literally got the technique down to an absolute flawless T that you could literally not see where the stop motion set and puppet started and where the live action footage begins. In some shots you can, but a majority of this film, it's like it just blends in seamlessly.
Yeah, it's a very good composite.
And don't forget, this is still kind of like in the days of it's still rear projection. So this isn't even like, you know, like in Kong where you've got a full stop motion set and a small projection in a corner somewhere. This is still like, you know, a puppet on a table with a rear projection set at the back and double exposed on film cell. So this is all in one take practically.
And you can also tell that they paid some attention to the detail as well, because the way the monster escaped the cage in the first place, when you look at the life-size actual prop, they've actually broken the cage in exactly the same places.
Yeah.
Hello, almost the doctor.
Hello there, does someone call for a doctor?
He just owned the shit out of her, that prick.
oh, what's that chat up line again? Oh, yeah, hello, almost a doctor.
Yeah.
If there's a sure way to get a kick in the nuts, that's exactly the way to do it.
Yeah,
That
I
guy's
like
an
how
asshole.
this guy's like a complete dick to her the whole movie, and then all of a sudden she's all about him. Like that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we don't
it's
see
like-
that in real life at all, do we? All these girls saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not into him at all." It's like, "Oh, he's a bad boy."
I like.
It's like King Kong, man.
If have you seen is it the Giant Claw, Ethel? What's the one with the bird as big as a battleship?
Oh yeah,
Giant-
giant claw. Yeah,
Your one's asleep in the plane, and your man leans in and starts kissing her, and like, dude, you would be in jail. If you did that today, your ass would be in prison.
Yeah, in some cases, the air stewardess wouldn't wait for you to reach the landing. They just throw you out of the plane.
I mean, there's no consent in that scene, that's for sure. Oh,
cancel
Frenchie,
that
look,
movie.
that's
But it
all-
does seem to be. But it does seem to be a problem with some of the movies. Unfortunately, when it comes to the relationships of the stars, it seems to follow the same formula as romantic comedies.
Yeah, I think as well that it's also that time where I'm not saying that film at this point was still relatively new, but people writing for film was still relatively new. I mean, you had people like Ruth Rose that wrote the scripts for King Kong. I think she had done like other scripts for theatre before now, but I don't think she's ever done anything for film at that point. And then you've gone from the 30s, the 40s, and to the 50s, and you've still got that formula of, okay, so what sort of works? How are we going to write this? How are we going to write these characters? What's romance? And especially at that time, romance was very much a case of it's a man's thing. It's not a woman's place. Is literally just to have kids and be in the kitchen all the time. So trying to formulate, what these people are going to be doing is I can imagine it'd be quite difficult at that time.
Yeah, I can kind of get behind you on that one because they were going through that during that period in media. We're going through the transition of traditional storytelling, where it was books, to a more contemporary storytelling, which was a visual medium. So they didn't know how to write the visual part without writing the story in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
He's cute when he eats, guys. He's just like,
I know. I like his little whiskers. How they just seem to move about. It's like, oh, he looks like an otter eating. It's so cute.
Mike, the bit where the dog is attacking the emir, it's done with shadow.
Yeah.
So would Ray have animated the actual? Would he have used the actual proper maquettes to animate that and use some kind of light or something to project it, or would he have used more basic kind of figures to do an action like that?
No, so everything that Ray would have been made with a fair amount of detail in it. So if you see the shot where it actually jumps onto the emir, that is a full-on stop-motion puppet. So when it starts doing the silhouette side of things, he would have been using the same puppet essentially. Okay. And I'm guessing his father would have probably made the armature for that as well. So the puppet for that sequence probably would have been not massively complicated because he would have had a small budget, but it would have been anatomically correct, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, it's just cool to think that he was able to animate the animation was so well done that the silhouette is absolutely fantastic. I know it's probably not a big thing, but just to me, that's cool as well that you can animate a silhouette and it's just trying to get the shadow right and everything. Just again, that would be absolutely time consuming.
I mean, in terms of the stuff that Ray wanted to animate as well, he always wanted to animate like a horror film, and to me, that shadow sequence is probably quite horrific if you think about it. I mean, you're not seeing anything gory, but you're seeing the action of the event in terms of you're seeing this poor dog being pummeled to death by an alien creature, and that's quite horrific if you think about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you've got an imagination, you can play that image in your head, and it's not
Exactly.
Like, normally I feel bad for the dog, but that dog was a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it was raised in Italy. What do you
getting a
expect?
bad fucking feud between men and dogs and elephants. This fucking thing is just fuck this planet.
On this planet, I want to go home.
And now
See,
he's got
he
I'll
needs.
defend the dog.
See, he needs a telephone so he can phone home.
The dog was just doing his job. He saw a strange being in his master's home, and he's like, "What the fuck you doing here, stealing our shit?" Like, you know, the monster was just defending himself. I don't think there's any villain here. Everybody's just doing what they do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This military jagoff who's poking him with the stick is kind of a douche. Like,
Yeah.
No, the humans should know better. The animals don't. I mean,
Don't stab it with a pitchfork.
Wait till the shovel comes up. Man, they start fucking drilling the poor bastard with a shovel. It's like...
Now, I have to say, I absolutely love the attack sequence on the farmer, because I think that's the only time you ever hear a grown man scream like a woman. Yeah, because if you think about every other film since like the 1960s onwards, when a man screams, it's like a rah, ooh, it's like very deep and gurgly. Whereas this is almost like it starts out kind of like deep and gurgly, but then it starts getting really high pitched and a bit like.
Yeah, and I like.
Actually, name a movie where that does happen, where you do see a guy scream like a woman. It's pretty funny.
And what I do like about that.
Have you ever seen Space Mutiny?
Can't say I have actually. No.
Yeah, guy screams like a woman in that. And it's worse because it's this big, beefy, like bodybuilder looking fella. That he's like,
I mean, that farmer deserved that though. He stabbed him in the back. That was a big
God, yeah, he does.
Yeah, and one thing that I did like about that farmer attack is the farmer was also a stop motion.
Yep.
During that entire battle.
Very convincing stop motion too. That attack scene, because you totally bought an actual person, and it's not.
Yeah,
it's really well done. I mean, if you think about Ray's animation performance from Mighty Joe Young to this, you're probably talking about maybe somewhere between 8 to 10 years. And his technique has just developed so much by this point. And that's probably down to the fact that he's probably animating on a daily basis, you know, from 365 days a year. I mean, his time on these projects was a lengthy one compared to everybody else on these productions. So, yeah, he was probably getting a lot of training on the job every single time he picked up these projects to animate.
Yeah, it's almost like you take any job really, because it's just going to make you better and better at your craft. So
yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons they could get him in some of these films where the budget really isn't that.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered. Fun fact. So you remember how I spoke earlier about The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms being Ray's first official solo film? Did you know that technically it wasn't going to be his first film? Had he actually got the rights, he would have got his first feature film might have actually been War of the Worlds.
Oh, that would have been good.
And if you think about it, had that been his first film, in his black and white era, he would have started on Mars and he would have ended with Venus.
Oh!
Exactly.
Making the round.
Yeah.
Wrong direction. All you've done is try to help. All I've done is
I've been an absolute jackass.
Film too. Like he'd done War of the Worlds would have been quite different.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would love something Ray's War of the Worlds. I mean, I love George Powell's version, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, it's not the War of the Worlds, it's Invasion of the Flying Saucer Men.
Yeah, there's something cool about like fucking tripods with disintegration lasers just fucking coming out of the top and the weird noise they make. I don't know if you guys seen it, but there's a mockumentary that Channel 4 did called The Great Martian War, and it's like, what if in World War I the Allies were fighting tripods instead of the Axis?
Okay. Well, I'll check that out.
Observation and examination.
It's pretty cool. It's Channel 4. You could probably look it up on More 4 if you want to.
Yeah, I'll have a nosy on More 4, see what I can dig out.
The beast must be destroyed. Yes,
Always check out More 4.
They never doing that. There definitely would have been tripods in it, like in the book.
Scientific experiment. Andiamo. Signore Commissario, you can't do that.
Does anyone get the feeling that this police guy is just like Pecker from Ghostbusters?
Oh, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to screw your operation up because I can. I have the authority.
Even though there's no real reason for him to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of a proto-pecker, if you will.
Yeah.
In Ghostbusters, you've got the full pecker. In this one, you've got a tiny pecker.
Does anyone else think he looks like Heinrich Himmler? Or is that just me? I don't know. He looks like some guy who'd run a concentration camp. That's all I'm fucking gonna say.
Well, in defense, he is worried about protecting the people of his country, you know?
Okay.
True.
But even though we've already seen that you will only attack you if you literally stab him in the neck with a fork.
To destroy that creature before he kills someone. But you can't.
Oh yeah, lads, bring dogs, because it fucking worked so well the first time.
Jesus. It's the principle though of that. You've got the captain who's obviously been to Venus on the mission, knows how these creatures react to certain things, and he questions it all like he's like talking out of his ass. He's like, "Oh, you're going to catch it with a net." It's like, screw you, buddy. What have you done so far that bloody can like be vouched up for anything else?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a scientific method. Try one thing that is simple and get even more complicated depending on the situation. Don't always start off with bombs. Does this mean they're going to try and get a net result?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Deacon.
Hey, guys, I don't know who Annette is, but she must be pretty tough if she can take on Ymir.
Anyone called Annette can take on an Ymir.
If I knew it wasn't gone this fucking bad, I would have gotten booze tonight, lads.
Wait, why is Mark talking about lobsters?
We were chatting about... Oh, that F will tag this one.
That's because we were talking about teenagers from outer space and the giant lobster monster that they have, the Gargan. If you've seen that film, that's what they.
My bad.
They call it the Gargan. Well,
Jesus Christ, they're going after him with a fucking flamethrower. Will you
Oh,
leave the
come-
poor lad alone?
Come on, False Proxy, be better on yourself. False Proxy has gone, speaking of tiny peckers, I'm here. Hello, everyone. How are you guys?
hey, Proxy, how goes it, friend?
Hey, Prox. What the fuck?
We're all good, dude. Glad you could make it.
See, I'd like to have been in the director's room at that time. Say, yeah, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to burn half of Italy up with these flamethrowers. You don't need that, Forrest.
In fairness, they helped Hitler, so fuck them. Like,
you know what actually completely threw me as well is that the equipment that they're using here probably isn't that far off of what they would have actually used in like the Second World War.
Yeah.
So if you think about how lethal those things are in terms of the film, it's like, Jesus Christ, imagine what they could do actually on the battlefield. Jesus.
On the bright side, though, like, I don't think they're really gonna notice. They're so bombed on Chianti that, like, they're a little fire here and there. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's a typical sum for us.
See, I just get the feeling they're all just sitting around it going, oh, now we're getting ready for our nice wood-chipped baked pizzas.
They're dropping sulfur, and they're going to drop a net.
Flamethrower!
He sees that drop, he's like, what the fuck?
Oh, Mike, we have a question in the chat for you. Natalie asks, do you have a favorite scene from this movie?
Favorite scene? I've got two, actually. The egg opening sequence, because it's just absolutely fantastic, and probably the Colosseum scene.
Yeah.
Every other scene in this is really, really good, but it's all very basic. I mean, I love the elephant fight scene, don't get me wrong, but to me, that isn't quite as good as compared to the Guanji elephant fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's that one is just, although the audio for that one is terrible, but the the visuals are so much better, I think.
See, it looks like he wants to go for a hot dip.
I'm miles ahead of you lads, am I?
I have to say, because this is a black and white film, it always confused me what that was. Is it bubbling mud? Is it lava? Is it a hot spring? It's like, I could not get my head around it.
It's sulfur, so it's hot spring.
Yeah.
Because you look at it, and it's like the consistency of it doesn't look like what you would expect a hot spring to look like. It feels thicker, like mud or lava or something. It's like, what the hell?
If we're talking the Italian hot spring, which is a famous one up in the northern Italian borders near the mountains, that one has an excess amount of sulfur going through it, so it actually adds to the water's consistency.
Ah, okay.
Why are they throwing flour at him?
No, it's sulfur.
Sulfur.
Oh, my bad.
It is flour, but I mean, it's supposed to be sulfur.
Technically, if there was a lot of flour and it all went off at once, that would be very dangerous for him.
Wait, so the flour is used to create an explosion?
No.
No.
Deacon, you're confusing the poor chap. No.
Okay.
The thing is, it's powdered sulfur, Trenchy. They're trying to. They need bait. They need bait to catch the fucker, and they're using powdered sulfur. Can you guys tell me when there's a bunch of reporters in a room talking on the phone? Because I was way ahead of you.
Oh,
We're at 5520, Marty.
Yeah, we're at the point where the net is incoming because he is eating off the ground.
Yeah. I just yeah.
He's not doing anything. He's just trying to have a little snack, and they won't leave him the hell alone. It's like, let him have his sulfur. Jesus.
See, this is the first time I've ever seen the net land on the flying trapeze. See, I like that effect with the net.
Oh, shit. All right. You need to add.
Oh, go on, sorry.
To your repertoire.
Yeah, one thing I can't fault with this film is the audio that they use for the creature. It's just absolutely perfect for it. It's not a general raw. It's not like a lion that they've just recorded and reversed. It's like they've really done their homework with this particular audio track.
Yeah, it's an elephant roar that they've messed with.
And they use that sound effect quite a fair bit. They use it for the Cyclops as well in Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. And I think they use it in another of Ray's films, but I can't recall off the top of my head which one it was.
The only part in this where that sound effect doesn't help the film is when they get to the zoo and you see the elephant and they have the elephant roar, and it's pretty much the same sound effect.
Yeah, agreed.
That's the only part where it falls flat. The rest of the time it's great.
See, that doesn't look like the American Embassy. That looks like Mafia headquarters.
Probably because it is.
Yeah, for films in Italy, it probably was.
We're gonna go down to Ymir and make him an offer he can't refuse.
And if he won't accept it, we're going to make him eat sulfur and sleep with the fishes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I am fully aware of the rumors that began with an air crash 10 days ago off the coast.
This was actually like a modern day thing that actually happened.
Exactly as they are. This cablegram has been signed by the United States.
These guys went through. I mean, they could get in a hurricane. Their hair isn't moving a bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that if you rinse that guy's hair out, you'd have enough left over to lubricate a tank.
You know what? Swimming, they're gonna have to get people to come down there with Dawn and toothbrushes to clean all the stuff.
Rockets, with its complement.
Oh, so that's why they call it hair biscotti.
No, the town Venus.
Is there a country called Venus?
Hey, that little there was a country called Texas, so anything could be possible.
True. Oh, come on, I know an actual town that's called Ood Down.
Is the central object of scientific study.
The Italian anti-defamation news will be all over the state.
I ask you, correspondent, to select 3 of your number to accompany Colonel Calder to the zoo. Those selected by you will, of course, pool their interviews with the entire press corps, and we will furnish you all necessary photos. Well, I guess that's all, and thank you for your patience.
Out they go. Holy crap, they can't wait to leave. They're like,
they're kind of like, we can either go and see this exciting thing or stand here and chat to this boring guy. Okay, let's go report stuff.
They just did with reporters going, The
frustrating thing is, though, is that they've gone over to write this report saying we've got this amazing discovery, and then in tomorrow's paper is amazing discovery trashes all of Italy.
Major discovery destroys major city. Luckily, it wasn't one of ours.
Well, there's that elephant. There's the guy
Hello
feeding
there.
peanuts. That's
there's
right
Ray.
there he is.
Cameo.
And although elephants get a bit of a bad rep, they are quite gentle creatures.
When they're in captivity, they run amok sometimes, though. They flip out, and they kill people, and we've all seen that video where the elephant sits on that poor guy's head. Oh God!
Oh,
Yeah.
That guy's head went clear up that elephant's arse. That was wonderful.
Oh no, one of my fondest memories growing up when I was a kid was there was a circus that used to come near our town, and it always had elephants. Always, and every time that I went, I was able to go and pet the elephant's trunks. They were awesome, huge creatures. Lovable.
I'm glad now. Kind of circuses have kind of phased out using animals.
Yeah, I have to admit that they did treat them really well, but yeah, keeping them in captivity and performing, I kind of say let them go.
Yeah,
let them be wild.
Now, the only sad thing is now all you've got to deal with is a bunch of Canadians screwing around on giant scarfs.
Yeah.
See, I would be more impressed if they actually had like these acrobats make themselves into the form of an elephant and then do a trick.
Yeah.
That would be very
Yeah.
impressive.
You gotta
So
walk.
Marcus, I want to.
So far, we haven't come to one.
Oh,
You
go
gotta walk
ahead,
the
Apple.
same as Babar. It's what you gotta do.
Baba.
If you need a giggle and something that is a little bit connected to what we're watching, you know the inflatable T-Rex and dinosaur costumes you can get?
Mhm.
There's a whole bunch of videos of them doing skateboard tricks, backflips, stuff like that.
Oh, sweet. I wonder how many of them break their neck.
Probably a good few. I can't see out of this fucking game.
Do you want to know a statistic?
Creature, compound.
Yeah, go on, then.
At least once a week, one person is admitted to hospital with a broken arm, broken leg, or severe concussion while performing a stunt in a costume.
Can't imagine why.
And at least 2 people per year get into a situation where they do not survive because of it.
Mhm.
But that's only in the UK. If we include America, that number goes up.
Makes sense.
About
Makes sense.
5,000.
And if we include Japan, oi.
It's like, Colonel, I have to tell you about the latest nightmare I've been having. It involves you, and this is why I've got a restraining order.
And it keeps getting lower and lower and lower. It's like, come on, love. If you're trying to insinuate giving head, just get it over with.
I think she might be insinuating that, but with a 22 in her purse pointed at his belt.
Yeah.
Okay, for this scene here, Mike, was the maquette hollow that he could move the chest up and down like that?
Not quite. Ray's puppets were always technically a build-up puppet, so you would have the ball and socket armature surrounded by upholstery foam, and then have the latex skin cast over the top of it. But what he would also do in some of his puppets is he would put a football bladder in there, which he would be able to animate the breathing. So the football bladder would be part of the actual puppet, but then he would have to connect it and disconnect it. But he gave up doing that with quite a lot of his puppets after a while, because you never really saw it half the time, and unless it was in a specific scene like a death scene where you would really appreciate it, he would seldom not bother putting them in after a while. Same with blinks as well.
Yeah,
It's understandable.
Mm,
Because if the bladder goes, then you got to replace the whole thing.
yeah.
I like that bit with the plastic sponge.
Oh,
it
for
looks like
fuck's sake, lads!
sponge.
What did we do? What did we do?
Oh, geez. They took out the bug zapper.
Oh no!
Hey, what is happening?
I like that scene particularly because you've got the scientists. Oh, look, here's that Asian doctor insert name here, and he's like, oh, yes sir, we go do things now, and you never see his face, and it's like, I don't know whether this is racist or not, because it's like, not only are you implying that the person is of Asian Asian what do you call it, descent, there we go, but you're giving him a voice that I'm pretty sure is just some American taking the piss.
He's supposed to be Japanese or something, and
That's it, yeah.
I don't really know what, like there's no real reason to have him be Japanese at all. Like, it makes
Exactly.
Well, we had a
No
Japanese
reason
actor,
at
but
all.
we put him into an internment camp because we thought they were still up to something. Sorry.
That's all good.
Christ, I'm going heavy with the World War II shit tonight. I don't know why.
Oh, don't worry, because technically in 1957 there were still some rehoming camps in America.
So. Oh! See, this elephant is an arsehole. He's years like, fuck it, man. I just want out. Look, he's backing off. Like, hey, dude, I don't want anything. And the elephant is just going straight for him. Look, man, I'm not fucking.
Look, I know I'm an elephant. I know I look like I'm packed for a long trip, but that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. Leave me alone.
No. Deacon, the elephant is the arsehole in this. The elephant's the instigator of the situation.
Yeah.
Is like
Elephant's got an ego that it's like, I'm a big hard thing.
The dog had a reason. The dog at least had a reason. He was protecting his owner's territory. This elephant has no fucking reason. He's just like
this elephant is a pesky pachyderm.
This is essentially animal jail. This is like the elephant equivalent of Oz. He's like, oh hey, what's up, fish?
He thought the emir dropped the soap in the shower. He's like, you mine now, bitch.
Well, at least the elephant's come prepared because he's got his own shanks.
Oh.
Yes, eliminate the elephant. The
like
elephant started it.
He's trying to fucking leave the fight, and the elephant keeps attacking him.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I do not want this. I just want to eat some sulfur. People have hit me with pitchforks and rockets and set me on fire.
This is John Dario again.
If this had been real life, though, that is what would have happened because elephants are very territorial.
Mm-hmm. If you're not a member of their pack or if they see you as a threat, you are screwed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I do like movies where like you have this outlandish creature fighting a terrestrial animal. Like in Mighty Joe Young, where Mighty Joe kind of faces off against the lion. I don't know. I like the fact that like they kind of take the time to. Obviously, it's because of the fight. Just they do a really good job just animating the genuine, the regular animal as well. They put in that much effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only reason you can really tell is because of a shift in texture on the skin between the stop motion elephant and the real elephant, and that's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it is seamless.
I love how those guys tried to run and they just fell down immediately.
Do you think they were going, run, it's Godzilla?
No, that's not until 1998.
Oh, God. Fuck that movie.
It's Godzilla, but legally we can't say it's Godzilla.
I admire the movie. It's an unofficial remake of The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
Yeah, I think it's Cardinal Sin was called Godzilla.
Yeah.
If it was some other monster in the movie, like I would have given it. I don't hate that movie. I genuinely don't hate that movie. I hate Matthew Broderick.
I hate Matthew Broderick too. That's mainly one of the reasons I don't like that movie. And the other reason is, I don't know, it just didn't really interest me.
Oh, when it comes to the 98 Godzilla movie, the good thing is it is kind of seen in Japan as a movie in the franchise, but only if it's Zilla, the lizard that the Americans thought was Godzilla.
What Final Wars, he kicks the shit out of Zilla in the fucking... There's two things. He kicks the shit out of Zilla in Australia. He kicks him into Sydney. He kicks him into the Sydney Opera House, and then there's a discussion between two Japanese soldiers, and he's like, "Oh, the Americans thought Godzilla attacked them, but it wasn't him. It was that stupid lizard."
Yeah. And I prefer that way. It's kind of like, yeah, the Americans called it Godzilla because they were mistaken.
You prick! That was a hit and run! You asshole!
How dare you? And you're supposed to be representative of the law.
Yeah, that was like a hit and run. That was bullshit.
See, he's not hitting and running. He's redecorating the pavement.
Oh,
Has it done its disappearing act yet?
Oh, yeah. We just had him hit him with the car.
Yeah. That was a really good shot as well, actually, seen from the driver's perspective as he actually goes into the emu.
Yeah. Don't grab his tail. If anything in the animal kingdom will teach you, don't grab anything by the tail.
Especially a woman, or else you get your fucking ass kicked. Hashtag cancel Martin.
What that thing will do or where it'll do it.
We will all get canceled together. We'll do it together.
How many fish are they going to fucking kill by doing that? Keep throwing more grenades into the river, boys.
Over on the other section of the timer. Yes, sir.
Have you seen the colour restoration of this film as well?
Yeah, it's not great, man. I got this box set. You probably have it yourself, Mike.
No, I've got one actually, not yet.
Yeah, there's coloured versions of each of them.
I don't mind the colour restoration for this film so much. I think the coloration that they did for the emu was actually quite nice, but the rest of the film I felt was very tanned half the time. And considering that Ray oversaw the colorization of these films, it baffles me how he would choose that. But then I suppose it was he was there at the time. Maybe that's what they did shoot everything as. But yeah, it just seemed a bit odd to me.
I would say 3 fish.
like as colorations go, though, it wasn't that bad a colorization. I've seen some pretty questionable ones.
But per grenade, you're looking at 3 fish killed within a 30-foot radius. Yeah, I looked it up. I'm a geek.
That guy's so sad he couldn't throw more grenades in the water. He got so sad. He's like, I wanted to throw more explosives.
Why did I run out of boom balls? Oh, I love that effect as he's coming up and just looking over the bridge.
Yeah, that's a good shot. I like it when he breaks the bridge as well. You see all the bits of plaster and wired and pretending to be concrete and cable. It's just like, oh yeah, I love those shots.
And some of it was done with simple sheet plaster.
Like they sort of luck out. Oh, sorry, Deacon.
Oh no, after you. I was just going to make a joke.
I was going to say they sort of luck out that Ymir isn't a super violent creature. Like you have to provoke him. Like he's pretty tough, like he's busting through walls, he's cracking through the friggin' the ground and stuff. Like
yeah, I think if he was on an island all to himself, the world would be happy because he wouldn't interfere with them, and no one would interfere with him.
He needs
Although
like
I do have to wonder. Go on, sorry, mate.
Oh no, my bad. You go ahead, sir.
All right.
I apologize.
I was just going to say, it does make me wonder though how big this thing actually would have got if they allowed it to keep growing. Because that's the one thing that they've never really said is how big a fully grown version of one of these creatures is.
Are we chatting about the theoretical or hypothetical life contexture between the mass and gravity of Jupiter versus our own?
Jupiter? Venus?
Sorry, Venus and our own. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're talking 50s logic here.
Well, according to the movie, it's the atmosphere of Earth is what's causing him to continue to grow, and they never say that it's. Huh?
It's the atmosphere. I thought it was the sulfur.
Sulfur
No,
is
he
just
just.
what it eats.
Yeah, but according to the film, It's the atmosphere, and he would never stop growing. So potentially he would probably get so big that he'd crush under his own weight and die. So like if they just left him be, it's problem solve itself.
Yeah, so like you say, you can stick him on an island, you just won't have any problems after that point.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah, I mean, oh,
no, you go ahead, Ethel.
well, I was gonna say, like, he's if it was a real creature, you know, he's made out of flesh and blood, you know, he's got a skeleton. He's gonna reach a certain height where his mass is gonna be so great that it's gonna crush the bones in his body. He won't be able to move. So, like, probably only gonna get to like 100 feet tall, only.
If they just left him on that
Yeah, what were you
alien
saying?
planet,
Ooh. Okay. That would explain his rapid size. Venus, when it comes to cell compression, how big a body can get due to how dense the gravity is. The density on that planet is 92 times greater than ours.
Okay.
So he should be able to expand to a much bigger size without being forcibly compressed down. And he breathes carbon monoxide and dioxide, because those are the two main gases.
Although technically you never have a creature like that on. There's so much acid in the atmosphere that it would disintegrate. Because we sent a probe there and it didn't last very long.
No, only a few minutes, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think the only thing that they knew in the 50s was that the planet was a lot denser than ours, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not a huge difference in size between Venus and Earth as well, you know? So.
Yeah, it's technically called our sister planet.
I just
want
want
Mars
to
was
go
our
and see
sister
my
planet.
wife and child.
Mars is our sister planet because it's the one closest to us, but Venus is the one that is closest to our size, proximities, rotation speed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mars is a bit smaller than Earth.
Yeah.
should have just left them on the planet. If they didn't try to take that egg with them, then you know, everything would be cool.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
But yeah, the best thing to do is just go to the South China Seas, find the biggest abandoned island, and stick it there.
Oh shit! They're doing like a King Kong thing here, like on top of a large building.
This whole movie, I can tell you now, is Ray's homage to King Kong.
I can see that. I can see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Goes on top of the tall building, gets shot down, but even then it's like you've got a creature that is completely unknown to man, gets brought back for human reasons, gets let loose, or frees itself, runs amok. Yeah, it's King Kong through and through.
Yeah, there's even the douchebag guy that gets with the girl after being an asshole to her throughout the movie.
Wait, wouldn't it be great if we'd had a versus movie between Ymir and King Kong? That would have been kind of cool.
I think that would have worked a lot better than the King Kong vs Godzilla, because they really had to big up King Kong for that movie.
Do you know the story of King Kong versus Godzilla?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Frankenstein vs Godzilla.
Yeah, but do you know where the original concept came from?
Willis O'Brien.
Yes, he took his idea to RKO. They said, work with this producer, we'll try and get it going. Took it to the producer, and then the producer took his idea, sold it behind his back to Toho, but because King Kong was more popular in Japan than Godzilla was, they decided to do it against Godzilla versus King Kong rather than Frankenstein.
Yeah, and the
Whoa.
Frankenstein monster was supposed to be made out of different animals in Africa.
Mhm. Yeah. So there's like parts of elephants and rhinos and God knows what else.
Yeah, and the thing that I find funniest about all the King Kong movies that came after the first one is 20th Century Fox tried suing everyone who was trying to use King Kong.
Universal, Deacon.
Oh, sorry, Universal,
Universal.
yeah. Universal was suing everyone who was using King Kong, but Universal, the year after King Kong came out, fought for King Kong to be in public domain.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone could use it. They shot themselves in the foot with that one.
The end. Poor Ymir.
No.
He didn't
He
go
deserved,
well
he
like
deserved
that.
better. He belongs in the same category as Younger.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ethel.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, no, justice for Ymir. You know, him and Younger,
Yeah.
Gary, they're friends. They're friends. They actually went to
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. They are monster bosom buddies.
Now, you know there's technically a sequel to this movie, don't you?
No.
There's a set of comics that are called Ray Harryhausen Presents, and there was another one, a sequel called 20 Million Miles More, if I remember rightly. And it's about humans that go to Venus to find out the origins of the Ema. And I've never read it, and I'm really gutted about it.
Come here. I'm wondering, Mike. There is a digital comic on each one of these DVDs, and it's when the astronauts come back, they turn into emirs.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's probably it then.
Yeah.
Ooh. There might be something worth doing a watch along to at some point, just for fun.
What's a digital comic?
Yeah, it's basically you can watch it on the DVD and stuff, just like kind of an interactive menu screen or an interactive photo gallery. But but Mike, you kind of got cut out there when you were trying to plug Wildlife on Mars. Do you want to give it another go?
Yeah, I'll give it another go. Yeah, so Wildlife on Mars is a concept that I took to Ray back in 2012, and he really liked the idea. He was that impressed. He actually took me under his wing to mentor me over the phone. Unfortunately, I live in Lancashire in the UK, and he lived in London at the time. So to try and get up and down the country, a couple of times a week was a bit difficult. So we had to do our mentorships over the phone, unfortunately. But he was really into it, and he was more than happy for me to come back to his house and watch it with him when it was finished. And he liked the concept of the creature designs, and even gave me some advice where he was saying like he didn't like the color of one creature, but he liked the concept of the other. So it was really, really good little relationship that we had going. And then when he passed away, unfortunately, it was a massive kick in the teeth for me. It was a very heartened missed opportunity. But it pushed me to keep wanting to make the film, and I still wanted to make it. And I was hoping to get it finished for his 100th birthday in 2020, but when COVID hit, that all kind of went down the gutter, essentially. And I am still trying to work on it, but it's finding space to find a studio that's big enough to shoot it in, and then there's of course the bills and everything that need paying for, like the electrics and the computer software and what have you to build up again. So it is hopefully in the works, but at this moment in time, it's just on pause, at least until the world starts going back to some kind of normality again, where we're not having to stress about, whether you're going to get COVID from sneezing on somebody again or anything like that. So yeah, there's a trailer on YouTube, which I'm hoping will either be linked in this video or shared at a later date.
Already on it, my good man.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And yeah, I can't think of anything else to really say about it. Really.
Mike, as you were saying, as you told me before, you're an ambassador to the Harryhausen kind of foundation.
Yeah, that's right.
As I was saying, like, obviously you can't get direct funding, but if someone wants to help you out in some way, shape, or form, what can they do?
So the only way to help me out is through donations, and that's literally kind of like charity donations on a site that I use called Buy Me a Coffee. So I think the last time I checked, the setup was something like you spend like a couple of pounds to effectively buy a coffee. You can put as much as you want into that, and of course I feel no pressure on anybody whatsoever to fork out their entire month's salary on me or anything like that, because that would just be unfair at the end of the day, because stop motion is a very lengthy process, and especially if you're kind of like relocating a studio setup from one place to another, because you've got to find the right sort of setup. But yeah, as you were saying, I can't get any direct funding from the foundation, and that's primarily because they are a charity themselves, and they don't have anything in the works of like a funding scheme or anything like that. Nor can I go through something like Kickstarter or what's the other one now? What's the other one?
Patreon.
Yeah, that's the one. And that's mainly because they are a registered charity. Because the foundation is a registered charity, they won't be able to take my film if it's funded from public funding. So by funding me as a donation, you're inevitably funding the project. So it's a bit of a awkward setup to do it, but it's the only way to do it, unfortunately. It's the only loophole that I've been able to find, unfortunately.
Well, if someone wants to throw a bit of loose change your way, man, I'd say any bit of help. Sorry, Ethel, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like if you're a fan, stop motion, you want to see more of that sort of stuff get made, fund it, because you're gonna be supporting that film by donating to the Buy Me Coffee app that Mike's got. Like, if you've got the money, you want to see it, fund him. Give him some cash, throw him a couple bucks. If everybody throw him $2, you get 100 people, you got $200 right there. That certainly goes a little bit of a way, that buys a couple pieces of small equipment. You get 1,000, all of a sudden it's $2,000. That's how it goes, guys. Little bit, not much. Turns out to be a lot. You get enough people behind it.
Yeah.
Then he turns into Michael Bay, and everything starts fucking exploding.
And the link to the video, which is his promo trailer, is in the chat. It's also a link to his channel. And if you go to the top of his channel, that's where you will find the link to Buy Me a Coffee. It will take you straight to his dashboard.
And there'll be it's not in there yet because I haven't put it into the description yet. I should have, but I did not think about that when I was setting up this video. I set it up the other night. There will be a link in the description of this video after we finish recording and stuff for the trailer for Wildlife of Mars. So you can check that out. And if you check out the Trash Picture Theater release of this episode of Watch Along, you will see the trailer amongst other film trailers, Who knows what trailers will be in there while we're all gabbing, guys. But I know Wildlife of Mars will be in there.
And I will just also say as well that I've been working on this project since 2012. So I don't know if this is classed as like the longest running production on a project, but it certainly feels like it my end.
Are you doing the project?
Oh, sorry, Trench, go ahead. Trench.
Oh, no, you go ahead, Ethel, my bad.
No, dude, say your piece. I'll go right after.
Guys, has it just been you working on this like the whole time? I know you said you had Ray helping you out for a bit, but has it mainly just been you, producing this whole thing?
Yeah, it's been mostly me building the puppets, building the sets, animating, editing. I've had a little bit of help from friends that are actually more skilled than I am when it comes to the audio and orchestral score side of things. But yeah, predominantly it's been my own solo project. The idea of the project was kind of like, if this was a project that Ray was working on today, how would he do it? So I'm taking a lot of Ray's original techniques that he would have done for his puppet making, set building, animation style, but using modern day techniques and traits to amplify that. So one example I can give is, in terms of the actual animation itself, we're always taught that you do it on something that's called ones and twos. Ones being that you animate a single frame for 24 frames to make the second, or do it on twos where you're effectively taking two of the same photo to double it up to 12, which then doubles up to 24 frames. Whereas what I've started doing, which I think works better for my style of animation, is I'll shoot the whole thing on ones, but then I'll go back into editing it through Dragon Frame and edit it so that a certain percentage of that animation is added in a few additional frames. So rather than the whole thing being just consistent ones, it might be so many ones, then a few twos, then again back to ones, then maybe some threes or the odd twos again, just to mix it up. And I find that for me, it adds more believability to the motion. So if you think about when someone's walking down the street, the rhythm isn't always consistent. There's a bit of an undulation about that movement. And when you're animating, sometimes people get a bit too carried away, and it almost ends up looking like a walking robot. And you need that unpredictability in the motion and the weight of the carry that carries itself, and what does this part of the body do when this other part is interacting in certain ways. So there's a lot of thought that I put into it, and I tend to try and put myself into the mindset of my characters as well. By there's a Ceratopsian character on there, and the amount of times that I was on my hands and knees swaying my head from side to side trying to think, what is my body doing whilst I'm performing this, and how can I put that into my puppet? So it's it's a lot of effort that goes into this, and I don't think many people appreciate it sometimes.
One thing, again, nowhere near to your level, Mike, but one thing when I do my silly kind of animations, like a character would be turning, and I kind of make them kind of slightly stumble because they can't see what's behind them, and as they're turning, they kind of jerk forward or something like that. You have to think about that stuff to make it look more organic.
Exactly. I mean, when you think about what you do on a day-to-day basis, if you were to really look at yourself and analyze everything that you do, you'll notice that you have not so much micro flaws, but that there'll be something that your body does that you didn't quite realize it's doing. So, for example, you might be sat down, but then your leg might start twitching. You might not consciously know that your leg's twitching, but your leg is still twitching. So to have those sort of like little imperfections makes that puppet more alive than what it would do if it was just sat there tapping its fingers, because everyone does someone sat there tapping its fingers, and it becomes mundane after that point.
One thing I think is great is like if you're animating something with a tail, you can put a lot of like nuances in with a creature's tail. Like it could be eating something or killing something, and the tail could be twitching or moving or like
and especially figuring out how the tail would carry with its own weight and gravity as well. So I found a really nice trick with my Rex character that when the creature is thrusting forwards, that the tail is practically stretched out, but there is a bit of a sway to it as it runs. But then the moment it stops, the body will stop, but the tail will continue on, so it'll then wrap around itself and then flump to the floor like a snake almost. And I find that particular motion has more believability about it than what it would do if the thing just stops and the tail just fell flat straight on the ground.
One thing I do like about, now correct me if I'm wrong, but one thing I do like about the kind of tyrannosaur kind of like creature is you're going for the older kind of classic Valia Guanji Paleolithic style. It's up in its haunches. It's not like not like a vertical. It's not like horizontal. It's vertical. So it's standing upright, and that's something cool. I like the fact you kind of keep the little nuances and designs and look of the old kind of Harryhausen and Willis O'Brien creatures.
Yeah, no, that was one of the things that I really wanted to keep in with the idea of Wildlife on Mars, is that it wasn't going to be, Jurassic Park on Mars. I didn't want that. And one of the things that Ray used to say to me a lot is that he hated the way that dinosaurs looked now, because having the tails in the air, to him, they all look constipated. So I can get where he's coming from, because after a while, it's like, okay, well, the only unique thing about this thing now that we're looking at is that it's got a slightly different head or a slightly different body proportion. Apart from that, the overall physique is more or less the same. And that's what I wanted to keep with my designs, is that I wanted to keep that retro look, because if you look at things like, Charles R. Knight's paintings, for example, the way that he portrayed dinosaurs back in the 1900s was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he did, up until that point, everyone perceived dinosaurs to have like this low, sluggish, lizard-like quality to them, but he was the first one that actually portrayed them in a light that made them look active and warm-blooded. So even though you didn't really see much in that sense of that, it's just a static picture, but you get from the way that he had his postures for his creatures, or the way that the movement was for some of them in their like fighting scenes and such, is that they're active, that they're doing things, and that's what I wanted to keep in my designs, is that they're not just kind of like your atypical T-Rex that we're all used to now for like the past like 20-30 years. But this is like the throwback T-Rex, and because it's a Mars as well, we can accept that more than if this was someone trying to retell Jurassic Park back, back in the state of like a 1900 depiction. Yeah.
No, again, it's your stuff is fucking, it's phenomenal, and I can't wait. When you get it finished, I'm going to be the first one to be checking that out. I'll tell you that.
No, thank you.
The trailer does look good.
Oh, thank you.
And you also now have a new subscriber. Yeah, I've been watching it while we've been chatting, and I've also subscribed to his channel so I can get more updates.
Do you recognise the narrator for that trailer as well?
The voices were overlapping, yeah.
Yeah, do you know who it is?
No.
Have you ever heard of a YouTuber called Clayton Fury?
Oh, sweet!
Ooh.
You got Clayton to do that?
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, so I asked him if he'd be happy to do it, and he more than happily agreed. So it was like, yeah, great.
I don't see why not. Calling connections while you have them.
Jurassic Park YouTubers out there.
Yeah, because I was the plan is as well that I've got to get Jack Ewings to write the script for the actual in the intro narration for the actual short film. And then I was going to get another friend of mine, Jurassic Collectibles, to do the CG intro for this film as well. But of course, like I said, COVID's kind of like put a big, massive stop block on that. So it's all kind of like been thrown up in the air, and everyone's moved on to other projects now, which is, more than understandable. But I was really lucky to get Clayton to do the trailer voice for me, so I was quite happy that I got that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be fucking awesome when it comes out. Sorry, Ethel, you're about to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, and you mentioned getting a friend here or there to help out, and that really is the cool thing about independent filmmaking, is it really is all about your friends, your colleagues, people pitching in, doing this and that, and it's not like a big Hollywood thing where people are spending buckets and buckets of money to get someone for 10 minutes or an hour or whatever, you know. It's more of a community thing. But,
I mean, it would be nice if Hollywood actually would like throw some money my way.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would say no. I was mentioning, replying to a comment earlier about Patrick Swayze and his turning down of the sequel to Dirty Dancing. I'm like, yeah, and if someone approached me with $6 million and said, hey, would you do this? Not only would I do it, but I do 2 sequels, for crying out loud.
If they offered it to me, I'd have to turn around and say, fine, you can pay me $6 million, but you're going to have to spend $2 million in dance lessons.
I tell you something, like, if you bought fucking chickens for Sam Neill for his farm, you'd probably get him to do fucking narration. You get Alan Grant to do it, because he's...
I'll tell you who I approached, actually, originally to do the narration for my short film. Tom Baker. aka
Ooh.
Doctor Who, aka not Sakura, the other one. I forget his name, in Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And then the only reason I approached him was the trustee John Walsh at the foundation. He got his short film about Ray narrated by Tom Baker back in I think it was in the 80s, and he did it for free and for no qualms asked. And I thought, oh, you know what? If he actually recognises my position within the foundation, maybe he'll do it. But his agent was just like, nah, Tom's not got time to do this. He's a very busy man. I'm thinking, damn it. Can't say I didn't try.
I know that still though. It's honest to God, man. I think you should do like a little if it ever comes out in DVD or anything like that, do a little fucking documentary about like what could have been and what you were working on and the trials and tribulations of doing it.
Yeah, no, there will definitely be a 4-hour documentary on this project, that's for sure.
1 hour of that documentary is just repeated words of, oh, fuck, shit.
Oh, God, no, I'd chapterize each hour. So the first hour will be about the initial, like, Harryhausen experience and all the rest of it. Second chapter will be about mental health and depression. Third chapter will be about university years. And the fourth one will be about the COVID years.
But that's filmmaking in and of itself, It's always a struggle, a battle. Even if you've got Hollywood money behind you, it's always a struggle and a battle. Like you watch any documentary or any commentary, nothing but always a problem, a problem.
Yep.
But that's film, man. Like it's a process, and some directors will even tell you, and producers, they'll tell you a film is never finished.
Oh God,
it's never finished.
Yeah, you can never have a perfect movie, even if you're the one making it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that entirely. The amount of times I reshot scenes, because to me they looked awful, but to everybody else it's like, no, it looks fine. It looks fine. It's like, yeah, but I don't want it to be fine. I want it to be amazing.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm the same way when it comes to my YouTube videos. It's kind of like, it has to be perfect, and then I sit there and go, but it can't be perfect at the end of the day. Let's just get it out there.
Perfection's one of those unattainable things that, like, if you do film, you work with film, you try to always attain it, and it's like you reach a certain plateau where you're like, okay, I've been beaten into submission, I've run out of time, we got to just get this going.
Yeah.
Like an artist is always going to be their own biggest critic.
Exactly.
That's the nature of the beast.
Yep.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, all you got to do is realise when to basically go. All you need to do is be able to have a bit of dignity when the ship goes down, and have a bit of bravado when the ship sails rightly.
Yep.
Mikey, you working tomorrow or are you off?
Technically, I'm pulling an all-nighter tonight. I am hopefully going to get this Kong armature finished if I can figure out how to do really tiny hinged fingers. But at the moment, I'm probably going to be off tomorrow, but it depends on what time, if I actually get any sleep tonight at all, because I'll be sleeping in the studio, on the floor, like a champion. Yeah, I'll just have to see what time I wake up tomorrow morning, really. So hopefully I'll have a bit of a day off, but it depends how much I get this armature sorted.
Well, best of luck with that, man. And if you have any pictures or anything that you want to throw up on Twitter, I'll repost them. Okay.
Oh well, if you follow Animation Toolkit on Twitter and Instagram, because it's technically a project with them, it's going through their social media, so
share their stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. Share their stuff. The more they get shared, then the more it brings attention to me as well, really. So it's like, yeah, and because at the end of the day, it's like I want to really push sort of like the creature side of armature fabrication with the company, and there's nothing wrong with doing all these humanoid like quality armature designs, but I think it honestly does create this like tunnel vision for students where it's like, okay, what do I want to make a story about? I know, I'll do a story about a guy and a dog, and they go on adventures with things, and it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you and 50 of 1,000 people do the exact same thing, and you're not standing out. So
See, I'm
Fine.
the type of person that if I was in charge of that class, I'd turn around and say, right, you know, you get assigned a project. Here's the assigned project for this term. You have to make a Cronenberg-esque animation.
exactly. Do something that's outside the norm. Do something that's going to make you stand out a little bit more. I mean, my whole university studies for my master's degree was centered around not just what Ray's techniques would have been for today had he actually been studying, but also what will actually help students be more successful than what they would be currently doing. And looking back at Ray's career, leap from the 30s all the way up to the 80s, you notice there's certain patterns in his career path that he took that got him to where he, you know, from the 60s onwards, basically, for a better word. And it was down to that he followed his passion. You know, all of his test subjects were around prehistoric animals or creatures or aliens. He never, he did do the fairy tale stuff, but that was more just to kind of like finesse his animation skill. It wasn't his primary focus. And even then, he only made them so that he could effectively sell them off. They were an educational thing. They weren't a, what's the word I'm looking for here? They weren't his core being when it came to animation. So yeah, my attitude is, you know, if you've got a fascination with something in animation, then follow that. Don't just make another Wallace and Gromit. Don't just make another Morph. Don't make another Coraline or Box Trolls or something. You know, make what's passionate to you. If it's dinosaurs, then make a dinosaur film. If it's aliens, make an alien film. If it's about, you know, out of the world. Come on, Mike. A football crazed, you know, underground cave troll that wants to, you know, do things on Mars. Do that. As long as it's in the realm of achievability and you're not overshooting yourself, do it.
Yeah, you gotta follow your balloon. You know, you gotta go with what you know and stick with it, and you know, set your sights high.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot for Venus, baby.
It's only 23.6 million miles away, guys. That's like right next door, guys. Just down the street.
Plus, people already made it to the moon.
Very true. Very true.
You're right, Trash. Because I cut you off a little bit earlier. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're grand. I just no, it's I would like, as Mike was saying, I would like to see kind of more, kind of less. Not that it's aimed at a particular age demographic, but like I would like to see stop motion being brought into other stuff, bar kids movies as well. Just, you know, I don't know. I know it's a form of animation, and there's still a big stigma about like animation for adults, but it would be nice to see, because I grew up watching documentary, like there was this documentary back in the early 90s called Dinosaurs, and they used some really nice stop motion. This was like way before Walking with Dinosaurs, like, and I just remember growing up watching that. I was like, this is fucking class.
Was that the one with Fred Savage in it?
No, it was. I don't think so. Why was he narrating it?
He, Fred Savage, as a young kid, did a narration, and he did some acting in basically a thing like that, a documentary called Dinosaurs, and it featured quite a bit of stop motion, and it was rather silly here and there, but he was in it. He did a small acting role in it. He did a little bit of narration. It had narration from somebody else too, but yeah, no, he was in that.
No,
that was nice.
This was a fairly serious one. They used a combination of stop motion and actual traditional animation. The opening credits were done with traditional animation, and they were fucking amazing. I've always been trying to find out what it was and where it came from. And like,
Okay, Dinosaur, 1985 documentary made for TV,
no.
1 hour.
No, not 85. This would have been the 90s. This would have been like 94, 93, 94.
Yeah, I guess I was a little bit before. I still have that though on good old fashioned VHS, guys. Good old fashioned VHS.
What was I going to say? Are we hanging out in the back room for a while?
Yeah, we're gonna move to the back room in a few minutes. I'm just giving things time to breathe because I got to edit this down later, and I want there to be like a longer version so that people have reason to watch both.
Yeah.
So, like, only a few more minutes, and then we'll head out to the back room. I think I've pretty much got like what I need to make the episode.
So
Marty, did the that documentary have a T-Rex attacking a Ceratosaur in the stop motion segments?
That was Phil Tippett's. That was a Phil Tippett short, though. Are you thinking?
It was also part of a documentary because he filmed other segments for it as well, like Deinonychus chasing a Gallimimus, and I think there was a egg-eating dinosaur and a brachiosaur, I think, or sauropod of some kind.
Yeah, when would that have come out?
That would have been around about late 80s, early 90s at least.
Okay.
Because you've got Dinosaur, a fun-filled trip back in time.
No, this was not like, it wasn't kiddish at all. It was actually fairly serious.
Yeah, because that stop motion footage that Phil did was very serious. I don't remember the full documentary though, and I can't remember. I remember the segments. I just don't remember the full documentary.
The intro had like basically it was a walk-in animation of different species of dinosaurs. The intro was, and it had a really kind of serious, heavy really fucking serious kind of operatic tone as they were just walking. It was a side kind of profile as they were just walking by the camera. That and Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Mike, do you remember Cadillacs and dinosaurs?
I remember the odd episode. I'm kind of half expecting the next Jurassic World movie to be practically Cadillac and dinosaurs, to be honest with you.
Yeah. or Dino Riders. Do you remember Dino Riders?
Oh, Dino Riders was amazing. Still can't believe that it was like one season, effectively. Season 2 got cancelled because no one wanted prehistoric mammals.
No, yeah, like there was a Christmas special with like woolly mammoths and fucking saber-toothed tigers and shit.
That was supposed to be the pilot for season 2, but no one. No one cared for it. Everyone was like, "Oh, we want dinosaurs," and then the moment was like, "All right, we need to expand the range now. Let's do prehistoric mammals," and it's going to be because that's why they brought the caveman back because that was going to be the next villain for the second season.
The other thing was the figures. Tycho released a brand of figures, and they were so they're totally paleontologically inaccurate now, but they were so nice looking. The Natural History Museum had them reproduced and sold as official figures. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it's insane. I remember one of my mates in primary school came in with the T-Rex with all its lasers and everything that would walk across the table, and my God, I was so jealous of him. It was like, I want a Dino Rider, and I want that.
And they go for a fucking mint now, man.
Oh, they do. They really do. Even second-hand ones where they've been chewed up by the toddler or something, they still go for stupid money.
Yeah.
They were really great toys.
The Brontosaurus with the big fucking command center on its back.
Yeah. Oh. Those were the days. Good old toys.
Right. I'm going to save this for the back room.
Oh,
because
my.
it's a video. And if it's the one Marty's thinking of, then I may have found what he's looking for.
Yeah, just in case it's not public domain, dude. Fucking yeah.
That's why I'm saving it for back room.
Yeah.
Yeah, God knows I've got enough copyright claims from YouTube. Oh my God, the copyright gods, they strike me down. Let's
put it this way. I've given up with YouTube. I've given up with it. I was going to try and sort out a live stream setup on YouTube, but with the amount of times it's like I've seen people start up and get shot down, it's like it's too much hassle now. I think I'm going to end up moving over to Twitch, but I need a decent broadband setup so I can actually stream properly and not stress people out.
Oh, Twitch is more strict with their copyright. So like, that's a whole of noodles.
Because Mike is going to wear some nice swimwear. He's going to get in a fucking paddle pool.
To give you an idea on how bad it is over there, because if you exclude the hot tub girls, you can get copyright claimed and booted for music in a computer game.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And that's the primary thing for Twitch as well. It's like I'm playing a video game, you're copyright. What?
Yeah, so they have to mute the game and play music, which is not copyrighted in the background.
Yeah, well, all they'd be watching me doing is fabricate armatures anyway, so it's not like I'm that entertaining.
I like how Twitch's whole reason for being is like, oh, we're a gaming community, and then like you've got all these people in their bikinis or underwear in a lot of cases, and they're like standing over the pool. This is my hot tub stream, and we're going to talk about what's going on. And what the? This is not video games.
Yeah.
It's not.
Joe, it's grand if chicks want to do that, if women want to do that, that's cool. But don't go under the illusion that you're doing a video game stream. Like I'm fairly sure you don't need to be wearing Victoria's Secret while you're fucking playing Resident Evil. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you feel more comfortable. Maybe it gives you an edge.
And if you're going to do that, there are other sites you can do it on and be paid.
Like Trenchy.
Yeah,
What?
he's got his OnlyFans. He's got his OnlyFans.
No.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Yes,
What
you
the
do.
fuck?
Every single day you post a new picture. Yesterday it was the picture of the 1975 Combine Harvester cool-down fan.
I don't even know what that is.
Like, I just want to say, like folks watching at home and whatnot, like you thought the swimwear in today's movie was revealing. You want to see what Trenchy's wearing on his OnlyFans. Oh my goodness.
I know. It's the only time you see a man in a trench coat and a mankini.
Okay. No, what? Wait. Did you just say linguini? What?
Mankini. Mankini.
I thought you said that was. Oh, Jesus.
Look, if you're going to be wearing linguini while wearing a trench coat,
Mike,
my cat
you want to see
eat the
true
linguini.
organic movement. You gotta watch. You got it. If you gotta watch fucking Trenchy in a pair of fucking speedos, I'd be impressed if you could fucking animate that, man. That's like.
I think I'd be impressed as well.
it's basically Borat carrying around a load.
Oh,
No. I don't know. Like, these people are crazy.
And on that point, where
It wouldn't be a stream if we didn't verbally molest Trenchy. It's sort of like, it's contractual. We have to do it.
It's a tradition. Mike, we're not arseholes in general. It's just when Trenchy is around.
Well,
Did I say anything? I'm not saying anything.
we are completely innocent, and he loves it when we pay him attention, don't you, Trenchy?
Like, I'm just hung up on the part that you guys signed a contract to molest me. Like, when was this? I did not get to sign this contract.
Dude, I own your soul, which means it. Yeah, and someone else owns your body.
Why do
And
like
apparently
four
someone else
people
owns
own
your
me?
cat.
It's not okay.
You signed the release, Trench. You said you were fine. You were fine with the bad touch. You were fine with the verbal molestation. Do you remember?
Wait a minute. Was this the time I fell asleep on the stream? Did I sign this contract?
Yes.
Well,
feel like that's
Yeah, you do realise that you do sometimes speak in your sleep, right?
Yeah, I feel like I was moaning at you guys on the last watch along when I fell asleep.
It's all right. We enjoyed it. Every once in a while, just a random, slightly incoherent word like.
Yeah, my movie we watched was that exciting, guy. Like, it put Trenchy out. It was
What
that
movie
riveting.
was it?
It was Track of the Moon Beast.
It knocked him
I
out
need to
faster than
watch
Mike
that.
Tyson.
Well, in defense of the movie, I only had 25 minutes of sleep that day. So, but yeah, I tried.
Would you suggest Mike go back and watch Prehistoric Women from what was it again?
The Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women.
Oh god,
It has
I'll guess not.
dinosaurs and robots and great crack. Made the Soviet Russia.
We do warn you, when we watch movies, we tend to, well, I tend to make jokes a lot.
And
Well,
I
that's-
could not
that's
expect
the
anything
point.
less.
That's the point. It's you gotta have, like look, you gotta have fun with film. Like, even if it's a good movie, you still gotta give it. You gotta put it through the rigors. It's like Trench. You gotta lay into it sometimes.
Every once in a while, you have to go watch your movie and give it a good spanking and say you've been bad.
Well, the way I've always looked at it is, if you can watch your favourite film, tear it apart, joke about it, and pick out all of its flaws and still love it and hold it like high on your like shelf of best films ever, then you're a decent movie person. It's the ones that are like, oh, I watched this film and it were rubbish and I did like it for X reasons, Y, Z, blah, 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 and I'm a popular YouTube reviewer. It's like, yeah, you're just doing this because you're being a cunt.
Oh, no, I get where you're coming from on that one. I love Tremors. It's one of my all-time favourite movies, but I'm quite willing to sit there and tear it apart.
Yeah.
It's like taking the piss out of a best friend.
Yes.
Yeah. It's what we do. It's what we have to do.
I mean, like, there's been a lot of movies are cheesy. Like, even Star Wars cheesy. Like it has a lot of weird stuff in it, and people get defensive when I call it cheesy, but I'm like, that's what makes it good, is because it's got silly aspects, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the Ewoks who eat people.
Exactly. You got the little teddy bears eating
They
people with their
fucking ate
sticks.
those lads. Let's be honest, right? Those stormtroopers. I didn't see any fucking prisoners taken. I saw a bunch of empty helmets, and they were going to eat fucking Han. They were going to eat Luke, and they had themselves a human barbecue.
Oh, they did. They did.
We just assume those are empty helmets. We don't know if there's not remains still in there. Like, there could be.
Oh, I would not be surprised at all if the skulls were still were put back into the helmets for support for hitty bang bang.
I just like to think that they actually took Ewok shits into their helmets and then just stuck them on a spike afterwards.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shithead stormtroopers. Now you are shithead stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's them Ewoks, guys. And who doesn't enjoy a cheap movie?
The bizarre thing.
Oh, sorry, Deacon.
No, after you, because I get the feeling you will lead into my joke.
No, just the IT crowd joke. Just the fucking stormtrooper helmet. You wouldn't shit the helmet. You wouldn't have put it back on a stormtrooper, then kill him, then give it to the stormtrooper's dead wife on the anniversary of the destruction of the Death Star. Rebel activity is a crime. Sorry.
Oh, that's actually quite good.
Uh,
Oh, the only thing I was thinking was Ewoks. They're so cute. They're so fluffy. They eat people, and yet we encourage kids to celebrate their existence.
Damn straight you do. Battle for Endor is the best movie ever.
Oh, the Ewok cartoon series, come on. The first season was awesome. Second season, not so much.
Yeah,
Mike,
I agree with that.
What was your favorite kind of creature in? Oh, you didn't like Cavern of Courage?
Yeah, hate that film.
oh,
Not gone into stop motion.
Stop motion's a bit janky. I mean, compared to Battle for Endor, where you've got the Blurgs and the Condor Dragon,
Yeah.
that was a far superior set of animation, and the film itself, I think, is a lot more enjoyable. Caravan of Courage was just like you're pulling teeth. That's what it was like.
Battle of Endor, the dentistry giant of stop motion.
Executive Order 66. Good. False thought in the chat there.
Oh, speaking of Execute Order 66, right? I need to clarify something with you guys, and I want to see if you agree with me on this. Is Star Wars, like current media, all about Execute Order 66 lately? The new Clone Wars series is bloody Execute Order. Bad Batch is Execute Order. I'm pretty sure I've seen something in Mandalorian that was about Execute Order, and it's like, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
Like, it used to be Luke, I'm your father. Now it's just Execute Order 66.
It seems to be all about like the Emperor killing off all the Jedi. That seems to be the kind of the big kind of trope.
Shouldn't it be Order 88 then? Kind of like the two infinity symbols cancelling each other out. The Eternal Jedi versus the Eternal Sith. Or am I just being kind of like too literal science here?
I don't know.
In fairness, Deacon, it's a series about space wizards and fucking space cowboys. They're not going to be too
true. And I'm a big believer in if you're going to have fantasy, have it on a planet.
What about a wooden planet? What about a wooden planet, Deacon?
I can handle a wooden planet, but I can't handle a wooden ship.
No, but a wooden planet filled with monks.
Well, technically, if you go to most planets that have an oxygen environment that have flora, there's going to be trees.
Dude, I'm referencing Alien Tree.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I referenced as long as the ship's not made of wood.
I thought, Mike, did you read that script or that story?
I'm aware of the story. I've not actually read it, and for me personally, the idea of a planet that is effectively kind of like a wooden monastery in space is more fitting to me in Dune than it is in the Alien franchise.
Yeah, okay. It's
interesting concept.
Like Deacon was saying it's more sci-fi fantasy than science fiction, hard science fiction.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's so, like I said, the idea and concept is interesting, but the idea of where would you put that in the realm of like plausibility, as science fiction tends to lean towards anyway, there's not a lot there for it to stand up on. So yeah, to me, it feels more like it belongs in like that universe of Dune, where it's like you can tell it's very much science fiction, but the way that it's laid out in front of you feels very in the realm of fantasy as well.
Yeah, you even got your full hero's journey in that movie and book series.
Yeah, exactly.
Arr.
Oh. All right, guys. we are coming up on 3 hours, so I am going to take it into the back room and save some time because I've got 4 more Sundays to do, including this Sunday. But we're gonna say check out if you guys haven't seen it. I know a lot of you guys here have seen it. I did my 10 for 10 tag that just got uploaded last night. Got a nice little copyright claim on it, but it's still up. You can still view it everywhere. So good form. Check me out tomorrow. I'm going to be probably going to be on Mark's channel. We're going to be doing Scream 2, guys. Scream 2. I may or may not be on Night Watch's channel as well doing Jaws. I'm not sure. Not sure. Also, stop on by Sunday because Sunday we are doing sci-fi comedies. We're going to be talking all about all sorts of science fiction comedies, Spaceball, Coneheads, and anything like that. So, we got that. Huh?
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah, no, totally,
Yeah.
totally. We talked about Galaxy Quest. Who doesn't love Tim Allen in space? Honestly,
I know. That
I
movie
just
is
put Tim Allen into space, but that's a whole other fucking story.
Alan
Marty.
Rickman steals that shit.
Oh
Go on.
yeah.
Oh,
Marty,
Alan
what's
Rickman.
oh shit? What's next in
What?
the pipeline?
Oh, for myself, next
Yeah.
month I'm going to be doing Jurassic June. Every Sunday we're going to be going over a Jurassic Park movie. And Mike, I know you're big into the franchise, so if you want to jump on and get into that, we're just going to be shooting the shit out of each of the Jurassic Park movies.
Try and stop me.
Let me in, you
Try and
bastard.
stop it.
I definitely want to have you on. I'm going to see if I can wrangle James and Neelis into it, and Jurassic Collector, and we'll see what the deal is. So yeah, Jurassic June, that's in the pipeline.
All right, Jurassic June. Trenchy, upcoming videos, reviews. What have you? What's up, buddy? What's going on?
I recently put out the trailer for Night Watch I was doing. I was able to fix it and put that out today, so that's out. And I don't know about reviews, but I'm thinking of doing a Thriller Killer music video, so we'll see what happens.
Ooh.
I don't know when that's out, though, but yeah, that's it. And I'll just be with you and Mark tomorrow, maybe, if I'm not doing something with Kara, and then I'll be with you on Sunday, so.
Yeah, so check it out. Check it out. We're a tight crew, guys. Tight crew. Deacon, anything on the horizons, bud? What's new? What's happening?
For me, it will be appearing on Sunday, even in the chat to cheer you on. Roleplay on Adonis's Twitch channel on Mondays, and next month I shall have hopefully 4 videos lined up to come out on each Friday.
Ooh, fucking exciting, man! Exciting, man. And of course, don't forget to gonna pivot out again, guys. Don't forget to check out the Wildlife of Mars trailer from Mike here. Help him out, support the coffee, support stop motion, and yeah, I guess that's the thing. And of course, I've been joined here tonight by my good friend Trash Picture Show, my good friend Trenchy, and my good friend Deacon, and my new friend friggin' Mike. So like, yeah, check out all these guys' stuff, projects. Always something cracking. So thanks for joining me.
Just before you go, there's one other thing I can actually add to that. And if you really like listening to me, and you know, considering I've got this lovely English accent and all, I'm a co-host on a podcast called the Missing Compies Podcast. We tend to cover most things Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. We've covered previous scripts that have never been made or been published to the public domain per se. And we've done script reads where I myself have put on the Jamaican accent of Mr. DNA, because apparently he was going to be Jamaican at one point.
I'm DNA man. How are you doing?
Exactly. And the following line was, "Kids love Jamaicans," apparently. So that was obviously 1992 when Cool Runnings came out. So we do that. We're currently doing a episode by episode breakdown of Camp Cretaceous at the moment, but we're also doing news updates for Jurassic World Dominion. We also cover creature feature type things. So there's a couple of film reviews in there by myself and a couple of other people that I co-host with, and talking about films and TV shows. And yeah, it's a general all-round creature feature fun fest for everybody. So yeah, so if you'd like to give that a listen, that's on Spotify, iTunes. Yeah, leave us a review. You can drop us emails if you've got queries about films that you want us to look into, or if you want to ask us a question or anything like that. Yeah, it's a fun little podcast, so by all means check that out as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you all next time.
Hey,
Adios.
Bye.
Ta-ta.